I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, yeah. Baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Shit on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious, I'ma go cause some pain, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gon' live it up. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I got cash in the bag, stadium packed. Put a rock star in this life, I'm live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad. I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can't and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Fuck your lies, I'll do what I want.
Gas in the bag, focus left, never left. She's so bad that the can't beat the brag. Hit the gas in the bag, focus left, never left. She's so bad that the can't beat the brag. Hit the gas in the bag, focus left, never left. She's so bad that the can't beat the brag. Hit the gas in the bag, focus left, never left. She's so bad that the can't beat the brag.
I'm inspired by thirst, I'm inspired by worth. I desire your worst, so you can just hide while I work. I ain't tired, you first. I'll write a second, third verse about the lies you go disperse. You never did shit, I know it hurts. Something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can't and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Fuck your lies, I'll do what I want.
The gas in the bag, focus left, never left. She's so bad that the can't beat the brag. Hit the gas in the bag, focus left, never left. She's so bad that the can't beat the brag.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics never the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Good morning. Welcome to the All Sports, All Plays College Breakdown Show. I am Ray Cruz. How you doing today? All right, my boy Dre Parby on his way here momentarily. Everything that goes on in sports world is we had some sad news over the last week or so. The thing that was going on, we're having some technical issues on the live TV. If you're trying to find us on the live TV, we're having technical issues here. You can follow us on our social media, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, all on the All Sports, All Plays Network. And if you want to, if you subscribe to our Facebook and Twitter and Twitch, also go subscribe to our YouTube channels. We have 811 subscribers on our YouTube channel at the ASAP Sports Net. You can go ahead and do a search there, or you can type in at ASAP, capital S Sports, capital N Network, and subscribe there too. So, we get all that stuff going here. Also, if you want to go ahead and send us some stars, we can earn some money for the All Sports All Plays Network. It goes to all our shows. We can make new contents. We need some, if you send us some stars and stuff like that. If you want to contribute to the network, they do shows like this. Keep it going here on the All Sports All Plays Network by sending us stars. So, all right, we'll talk about some sad moments here, and go ahead and welcome everybody to the show. Let's go ahead and I want to go ahead and do a moment of silence for the University of Virginia, Idaho University of shooting victims. Keep their families in prayer, in our prayers here at the All Sports All Plays Network. Let's have a moment of silence. Thank you. Yeah, let's keep these. Let's keep the University of Virginia and the University of Idaho, the shooting victims, in our thoughts here, in their families, and our prayers here at the All Sports All Plays Network. All righty, I got to bring the man in. I got to bring the myth. I got to bring the legend. He's on this here. Let's take the banner off real quick here. He is the Who to Blame podcast. The man, the myth, the Florida Gator himself, my co-host, the demon of all radio and podcasts, and the great Dre Montez. Good morning and welcome.
What's going on, big guy? How you doing?
Not much, man. How you been?
Oh, better than good, man. Better than good. My favorite time of the year with this weather, good and brisk.
We on date. I'm on day 19 with my hair growing out and my beard, so
I'm gonna try to look presentable for Thanksgiving for my family, so I'm going to get cleaned up on a Tuesday.
You gotta get all nice and clean, huh, for the family.
Oh yeah, gotta look presentable for my mom and dad. Gotta look presentable for my G-Ma.
And if you want to catch Dre, there's this podcast right there. You can just do the QR code. And it'll send it. The Who to Blame podcast. The St. Louis man, the only one. Big Dre. All right, Dre, man. We had all these shooting. We had the shooting in UVA for the football players and some of the students on a random field trip. We had an Idaho shooting. They call it the murder, the passion of murder for passion or something like that. And then on top of that, we have the former NC State football player Joseph Balotelli arrested for stalking Dave Dorson. He was transferred out of So what's going on with college? What's going on in these colleges? They have these people are acting out like this. I mean, it's been sad news, and also in that UVA we did come up with the mom of the running back Hollins came out and said that he was running from the bus, but went back and helped other students because he found out other students weren't following him. So he went back and pounded, and then he got shot in his back when he got all the students off the bus. So, that's a little bit of heroic story out of that, but he got shot in his back. So,
I mean, it's a different state of mind now, man. When your kid go off to college, it's not what it used to be. I mean, it's parenting overtime more than overtime itself now. It used to be when your kid went off to college, you felt good about that as a parent, whether they went in the same town or they went a couple of states over. If they went far away, there was a different sense of security then. Now that whole security has been taken away. Now is the options about continue your education is up there with safety skills now. And it's never been to that degree before. It's not just about classwork and athletics anymore. It's about survival and life and reality kicking in now when your kids go off to college.
Now you got a kid that transferred out of 2018, 2019, went to Maryland out of NC State, and then came back and now stalking the head coach and his staff. I mean, that's kind of dangerous for the head coach and the staff and his family. If you got somebody stalking, you don't know his state of mind. You know if he wants
nowadays. Nobody. It's rough out there right now, man. It really is. It's to a whole different degree out there right now. It really is. And we can't speak for other people. We can't assume. We can't think for other people. I mean, it's just got to deal with the consequences as they happen. And for everything that seems not the norm or way above and beyond, I think people need to start paying more attention to things and listening to people instead of guessing what the problem is. Sometimes the listening skills need to kick in.
Yeah, even though I'm rival schools, I root for in North Carolina. North Carolina State is one of the rival schools in the state of North Carolina. You got to be scared for the head coach at NC State and his family. I mean, you putting his family don't have nothing to do with this, and you putting his family's life in danger too. And we don't know his state of mind. We know he got picked up in Raleigh, North Carolina. He got arrested already, so he's been being booked. But I mean, dude, you can't even feel safe at your own university anymore. I mean, it's no safety. I mean,
it's just like the coach that walked out the house that day. I mean, no one knew that was going to happen. It's every day now, man. It's that hug, that hello, and that goodbye, and that I love you means a lot more today than it ever has, I think, anywhere. Those words are important. I just never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's just sad. It's a sad story. It's sad that players and people are coming to this and shooting up universities and shooting up high schools, and glad we got some safeties around going and executing these schools. Now you got to put safety in the colleges. I mean, you got to lock down the colleges. Does colleges going to end up putting like a fence? Like University of Jacksonville University here, they have a whole fence up and they have a security guard, and you can't get on unless you have a student with you or you go into a game or something. You got to have a ticket on to get on that university. So, I mean, are we going to go to that for the universities now too?
Man, there's no perfect answer for what needs to be done or what can be done. It's just there's so many things that need to be addressed and talked about and discussed, and with an actual plan put into action on how to do this to satisfy the students, the faculty, the parents, everybody, the town, the community. Everybody needs to be involved in this decision on protecting our kids when they get to college. This is an all hands-on event. When your kid leaves the city or state they live in and goes somewhere and start their education to get prepared for adulthood, they're part of their community. They're part of their town. They're citizens of their town and their community. People care about that. And I'm quite sure they would like to have a nice reputation as having a great community that supports the kids in school and around school that are affiliated with the school. You need to get back to that form of caring. That's nothing that's going to happen overnight. But if we keep talking about and addressing these issues, that's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, now these kids are coming from, different places all the way around the United States to these colleges and from overseas too. And you think you send them to college and your parents think you're sending them to a safe haven, safe place. Now these parents are going to be worrying about their loved ones now on colleges.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a 24-hour, 365 days to worry about your kids.
I mean, it used to be bad. Your kid went to school, you didn't think about them or worry about them until it got close to break around this time of year when they come home for the first time. Right now is when you're getting excited to see your baby coming home, and they're getting excited to bring their laundry, tell you their stories, what's been going on their first time away from home. I want to see those type of conversations again instead of a security guard come by every night. Is that door locked? Y'all using the code? Y'all doing the fire drill? Who's in charge of the resident hall? All those conversations are going on now, as opposed to what's going on at the school academically and how you're doing self-wise.
Yeah. That's what's going on there at the schools and stuff like that. All right, let's get to the business here. Do you agree or disagree with the third college playoff ranking that was released on Tuesday evening?
Yes, I do believe I do agree with that. I'm looking at it now as well, but I do agree with it. I mean, if you're undefeated, you're undefeated. That's nothing to be argued. It has nothing to do with strength of schedule. Now, those 1 and 2 team losses, okay, they can bicker back and forth. But as far as just the top 5, I think they got it right. What do you think about it?
To me, I think everything is going to plan right now for the committee. I think there are, some issues going to be coming up when you get to these 8. If you get all the way down to these 1-loss teams, and you got some teams like Alabama with 2 losses and stuff like that. And, just say, for instance, if North Carolina they win out the rest of their thing, they'd be a 1-loss team. But there are people already saying that even though they're a 1-loss team, I know their schedule is not up there like everybody else, but they play who they play. They beat who they need to beat. But if they get all the way up there, they could be left out. And like a 2-loss team, SEC team, or a 2-loss team can get in there. So that's a lot of things that you got to look at too. So I mean, how do you feel if a 2-loss team jumps over a 1-loss team to get into that playoffs?
That's when it's going to come down to their strength of schedule. And that's what we always talk about. That's what everybody talks about, that strength of schedule. What goes on after Halloween and in November does matter and factor in. It all depends on when you lost and who you lost to and what the score differential was. That comes into play. That's the only thing that was going to help, I guess, quote unquote, Oregon. That would have been their only defense mechanism because they had that loss so early in the season to Georgia. But the fact they couldn't handle business last week, that negates the conversation now.
Yeah, and then that negates the Bo Nix tweet too, saying that
that's not good. He did it to himself.
So I mean, that's another thing that they got to look at too. And then he didn't take care of business against Washington, so they lost to Washington. So I mean, that's a lot of things. And UCLA lost to Arizona too. So I mean, that's a lot too. So. Would you mind if a 8-2 like a 2-loss team into college over a 1-loss team?
It depends on who it is. It depends on now if they jump all the way from like a 13 spot up into the playoff situation, I'm gonna have a lot of questions. Something crazy has to happen today in order for that to happen. In order for that to be a 2-loss situation, today and next week has to get completely out of hand with lopsided victories in point differential. That's the only way I can see that happen. That means everybody in the top 5 must lose.
Yeah,
Everybody in the top 5 would have to lose. And that would set up a hell of a competition for next weekend.
that is true. It's coming down. I mean, we get into the nitty-gritties here. Every game counts. I mean, you take one loss here, you put yourself right and possibly out of that college playoff. You're in that top 4 right now, like TCU. TCU's got a party win out, even to maintain that top 4. And you got Tennessee lurking there with that one loss, and that one loss is to Georgia if Tennessee wins out. I mean, that's a lot of mechanisms that's going around right now for this college playoff. So, I mean, to you, pressure now is going to fall on TCU to try to keep winning.
It is a hard task when to play Baylor today. Now that 2 points is really shuffling everybody in Vegas. Everybody's having a fit over that, considering what happened last week with both teams in their both prospective games. But I think here's the situation. Everybody wants the committee to have chaos. We want to see the committee fail. We want to see the system fail, because every time it got close to failing in the BCS, it didn't. The BCS got it right each and every time. And now with this new point system, we've been wanting it to get tested, but each and every year it comes out to be the right situation. This could be the closest year, I think. It could be absolute pandemonium if today is chaotic as well as next week. If the next 2 weekends go as chaotic as I would hope they would, it's going to be a shit show on who's going to be in that playoff tree. Yeah, and everybody wants that. We want to see this thing shaken up in its wildest point where there's just total confusion.
That is true too. I mean, sorry, taking care of some business too on the business side, but so I mean, if you look at this situation here with the college playoffs, and then we're gonna move to it, next year, probably 2024 is the earliest they can do it, but no later than 2026 is the latest they can do it, is moving this thing to an 8 college playoff spot. I mean, do we need to go from 8 to 12, maybe?
8 to 12.
Yeah. I mean, I might give you. I mean, if you go to 12 instead of going to 8, that'll give you a little bit of some of these smaller schools that are having a good season too to have a chance to play for the national championship.
So now we're going to make alterations and adjustments to help the smaller schools in a situation where it's not about supporting you because you're a small school. It's based on you winning.
No, I mean, give a fair shake to the national championship to all schools. I mean, some of these small schools, if they have a good season and they play some of these tough schedules, they don't get a shot at these BC these playoffs rankings. I mean, because you still got the Power 5 conference
situation. The last time it happened, it was very embarrassing. It was Georgia playing Hawaii. That was very embarrassing. Yeah. Very, very embarrassing. I don't think once you get in that bowl situation, that's different. That's a different stage other than you playing in the K&W Furniture Row Bowl Classic on December 10th. Now you are playing in a possible situation of the playoff to play in a national championship. That changes the viewership. That changes the exposure for the kid and the coaches. Everybody is trying to either move to the next level or play on Sundays. The play is different. And here you come with a team that's going off of, oh, we had a great season. Let's go show them what we got, coach. That's an ass whooping. I don't want to see a team get destroyed in a possible championship matchup. Those bowls before that, that's for them. That's for them. Get your exposure there. You're not ready for that smoke when it comes to actually winning the national championship or competing for it. They play totally different.
Yeah, I mean that's totally like
what small school are you thinking of? Maybe that will help me out with the scenario a little bit more.
I mean, it's just basically if like the time that like Appalachian State, they could come up and pull upsets over teams, stuff like that. I mean, that's just one scenario that you got too. I mean,
what team would you in this scenario see App State playing in
right
a
now, I don't see them
playoff
playing because they lost so many games. They only beat the Texas A&M this year. But I mean, I'm talking about in the past. If they play more, if these small schools start playing these top-ranked teams a little bit more, and they get some of these big wins, it might not happen this year. It might not happen next year. It might happen down a few years down the road. But this NIL deal is starting to come up, and now you're getting these smaller schools going to have more big-time players when they start paying these guys more. So I mean, you're gonna see balancing out between these small schools and the big schools because some people want more playing time that you can't get at the big schools.
I see what you're saying now. You're talking about the same thing that college football is talking about with the influx and the scheduling. That way, it's not coming down to strength of schedule anymore, where these schools you're talking about that are not Power Fives will possibly have 2 matchups in their college football season schedule where it's outside of them, what's giving them more exposure. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, they're talking about doing that across college football by 2025. That's why they're trying to reshuffle the whole mechanism of the competition in college football when it comes to reshuffling these different conferences. That's what they're looking at. They're trying to shift the whole balance of college football to coincide with the NIL deal due to the succession rate that it's on right now. It's been a real good run so far. No bad stories are coming out because each school has a person that is handling the NIL conversation with the student athletes, which I think is smart.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, that's a lot of stuff going on, and that is very, very true in this point of views and stuff like that. We still got the Power Five, but let's say if the ACC runs out their championship and somehow Carolina runs out with beating Clemson, and there are only one loss. Does the committee value the ACC championship?
The ACC championship has value. It has stock. It has stock. The ACC has come a long way in football in the past 10 years. So it's looked at. The competition has gotten a whole lot better. The players have gotten a whole lot better in ACC. It used to only be 1 or 2 teams that were competing on a consistent basis in ACC when it came to football. So I don't think they're the lesser of the evil being looked at when it comes to the competition committee. No, not at all.
Yeah, I look at that too, and certain point of this too. But I mean, the way the playoffs are set up right now, are we looking at a 3 SEC team in this playoffs this year?
Ooh. You talking about Wake, Carolina, and Clemson?
No, I'm talking about the SEC. Are we looking right now? Yeah, we're looking up right now. Is the SEC going to get 3 teams in as we look right now?
See, they won't say it out loud, Ray, at all. But we all know the committee wants 3 SEC teams in there. We already know that. But Bama let them down, and A&M not doing anything to help themselves either. The projections on both of those schools did not meet up to the reality, and they're mad. And you can tell by the officiating these last 2 weeks. Yeah, I'm calling you out, SEC. Stop trying to do that and just let the game happen the way the game should happen. There's no way possible. Nobody saw that pass interference but us. That's impossible. Impossible. But having 3 SEC teams in there, that would really be something else on a different level, though. Because I don't think it's deserved this year. Earlier this year, I was like, it's going to be a situation. But you got your LSU, you got your Tennessee, and you know you're going to have Georgia. See, that's where it's going to get at right there. But if LSU loses today, then it's gone. But if LSU loses and Bama wins, and let's say TCU loses, there you go.
Now, just let's do it for instance in here. If Georgia loses the SEC championship to LSU, Georgia's automatically going to stay in, correct? Because that would be the only loss they have if they don't lose nothing between now and then.
Yeah, that's how that happened. What, 3 or 4 years ago? when Georgia and Alabama play back to back, it'd be the same scenario again.
So I don't think Georgia would do it, but how about if the SEC comes to Georgia and say, "Hey, look, play your best, but let LSU take it so we can get 3 teams in"? Will Georgia do that?
What is Georgia getting out of this, though? You got to make it make sense to me now, Coach. Make it make sense to me. How much we talking?
Say if the SEC gives Georgia our booster or some LSU booster gives a Georgia booster and trying to influence this, say probably about a couple million on the side right there from the boosters to get it the way this will be in there, and then you can go ahead and pull your victory in the national championship game in the playoffs.
We don't know what's going on next year with the SEC being on CBS quite yet. So unless Georgia has some inside information on what's going on with the television deal, are they just going to put all SEC games on the SEC network, or what's going on here? What's going to happen when it comes to television and watching Georgia? Maybe that could be a little hand scratching on the deal. But off the top of my head, I can't see UGA agreeing to anything like that. It's not beneficial for them. They already got the athletic facility. They already got the upgraded the field. They got the best running back coming in the state of Georgia. So what else can you help them with?
Yeah, true. That's something totally. But I mean, if you look at this, the way the playoff is going right now, the way it currently sits, the only way LSU could get in there, they have to beat Georgia, and they have to win out the rest of their season too.
Yeah.
So,
like I say, this weekend and next weekend is going to get like trying to explain how a fax machine works to a 5-year-old.
right. I think the playoffs should go no more than 10 teams and have the best top 10 team make the playoffs.
We had figured out a way about, I want to say 20 years ago, messing around at the radio station in Charlotte, we figured out a playoff system. You started right now at Christmas break.
Right.
Right now at the holiday break right now for the kids. You start a tournament, a single elimination tournament, and you would get the national championship that way.
Yeah, true. Look what the FCS does.
But see, if they can't make money off of it, that's why they're not going to listen to us. If it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense to the NCAA committee or any of the sponsors that are affiliated with. They're trying to figure out a way, how can they make money off of this? If you want a bigger playoff format, how can we make more money without being so obvious? What are the different scenarios we can do this on? How many platforms can we go with this thing? Because we're already streaming right now. We already have so many ESPN, so many ESPN Pluses. How much further can we go with this thing? Each division, each conference has their own television network now. So if it doesn't make any sense to them financially, they're not going to expand this playoff platform yet. They're going to wait till it really makes sense to them on a dollar for college football.
The only really to make sense of the whole deal is you have more smaller schools that don't expect to beat these top tier colleges start pulling some of these upsets.
I mean, right now, you got people bitching over the long break. How long it is until the national championship is actually played. That's a long time.
Yeah.
They're trying to close that gap some kind of way. There's been different suggestions that was come up and brought up, but nothing has really came back in a real conversation. Because you kind of forget who's playing the national championship. Like, wait a minute, they played 13 days.
Then you get a sloppy game.
You need your football fix, you know.
Then you get the sloppiest played national championship game. You don't get the crisp plays.
They out of whack. They've been at home eating shit. They got fat again. You know, if they can fix that, and that's a hard thing. I remember who was that? Urban Meyer was speaking on that when we were making our championship run about it's hard to keep kids on that disciplined food level over the holiday break when they go home. I mean, everybody misses mom good cooking and pop's good cooking. Everybody misses that home style cooking. But when you're trying to get on that national championship level, you got to control yourself.
And now when the 8 games starts, playoffs starts, and either they're trying to make it 2024. The latest they could do is 2026. So that's the earliest is 2024. The latest is 2026. Mm-hmm. So if they do it on 2024, that means they're gonna have to bring in. We're already at New Year's Day games. Now, where they do start Christmas Day with the other going into Christmas Day now with the other 2 games they added on.
Back in the day, Christmas Day, the Aloha Bowl used to be played over in Hawaii.
Yeah.
See, all these bowls keep changing names every year because everybody keep paying this money for the sponsorship and all that. But it's a lot of college bowl games. It's a lot of them.
Yeah.
I miss the days of having so many games just to watch on one day. I miss that. That was fun back in the day.
Yeah, they're talking about one of the new playoff games when they do this. When they added the 8 teams, they're talking about the Peach Bowl is going to be one of the games they are going to add to this playoff series as one of the games. But they haven't come up with the other one for the next game to add the 8th game. So we know the Peach Bowl is going to be involved. We know the Orange Bowls and all of them are involved already. But now, with that said, what lower tier bowl is going to turn out to be that 8th game? Because it's going to have to be a bowl game that takes place with this college playoffs. Yeah, you got the Peach Bowl for 1. So that puts you at 6 right there. You need one more bowl game. So what bowl game would you take and put in that rotation?
Probably the Rose. Bring back the significance of the Rose Bowl. It kind of lost its luster over the years where the Sugar and the Fiesta Bowl took over.
Well, the Rose Bowl is in the rotation with the Power 4 right now because so that's already in the rotation with that. But they adding the Peach Bowl into the rotation. They got to add one more bowl. They already got the Orange Bowl, the Rose Bowl, the Sugar Bowl. Now you got the Peach Bowl going to be added into this. They need one more bowl to be added into this rotation.
Yeah, give me the Fiesta Bowl. Why not?
Yep. It could be a good call. They're all playing in big stadiums.
I want to get us a bowl game here in St. Louis, Missouri, man. I don't understand why they don't go after the big fish anymore. Whoever's in charge of going after these different sports to come in here and play at our different facilities. I just don't understand why they have not went after a top-tier bowl matchup or a college football game at a neutral site. Let's say we get Notre Dame here at Busch Stadium playing the likes of Mizzou. First, that'll sell out. That'll sell out in one day. In one day, that'll sell out right here in this region. See, things like that. Why they don't do that? Why don't get Kansas playing against Illinois, Mizzou playing against Illinois here at Busch Stadium? It doesn't always have to be just basketball, man. Use that field not just for baseball and top golf and political party dinners on the field and movie night and pet night. Use it for other sporting events and concerts as well.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you look at that too, in that scenario too, so, I mean, the college playoffs on Tuesday night, the 4th edition will be coming up after this weekend. A lot of things could change between now and next Tuesday too. TCU's could lose their game against Baylor. North Carolina could possibly lose to Georgia Tech. I mean, they did last year. You know, a lot of stuff could happen and put it back into place. And Alabama could be working their way back up, and Clemson could be working their way back up if they went out. If they end up with the 2-loss teams, it will be the first time in college playoffs history since we had this started to have a 2-loss team in.
It could be very interesting next 2 weeks.
Yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. When we come back, we'll start the college break off segment where we break down college football teams here on the All Sports All Place Network. We'll be right back after these messages.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we're making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Network. We on top of our game. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.
This is the Fox D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at foxdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the All Sports All Place College Breakdown Show. I am Ray. This is Dre. We're getting ready to break down the college football segment here on the All Sports All Place Network. So, big guy, what game so far interests you from last week's game that you saw last week?
Shit. Last week game that really got me. Man, that's a week ago, right?
Yeah.
That's a lot of marijuana, right? Oh, man. You want me to remember last week in college football, last week in college football, last week in college football. What game was that really got me? Oh, the Ole Miss game. The Ole Miss game. Ole Miss and Bama, I believe it was, wasn't it?
Yep.
Ole Miss and Bama, how they tried to just give that game to Bama. The officiating in that game was horrific, especially in the first half. A blatant miss on a pass interference. Everybody watching the game, in attendance, and on television saw that was completely missed by everybody. And then the holding that happened right in front of the back judge. Then the face mask that happened in front of the back judge. 3 calls that were missed in succession. How does that happen and nobody talked about that on Sunday night, Monday morning, Tuesday morning? Nobody talked about that.
Yeah. I mean, there's
no
right there. For that. I don't know. I mean, are officials saying, hey, Alabama got 2 losses, they're trying to keep them close, that they putting in a ringer for them? I don't know. I mean, that's another thing too. Certain calls in that game was just mind-blowing. I mean,
everything about that game was offensive. I never want to buy into what everybody is saying when it comes to the fans saying things like college football is rigged. They want Bama to do this. Saban gets his way. After seeing shit like that, Ray, I can't help but agree. Like, okay, now I see the evidence. At first, I was the guy to always say, recruit better. Do a better job of evaluating your talent. Stop being jelly. Stop being a hater. But after seeing that, I got to agree with the fans. They were actually helping him last week.
Yeah,
and no one said a thing about it.
No, they won't. That's the problem here. They will not say anything at all about that. All right, my friend. Are you ready to see what you did last week?
Yes, sir.
You went 31 out of 21. I was 34 out of 18. Not a very good. I mean, we're both over 500.
That's all that matters.
But it didn't start out that way.
I know it.
Your overall record is 398 to 229. Mine is 436 out of 198. So 191.
That is not the stars I was shooting for, Bob.
I'm closing in on 200 losses. You're closing in on 400 wins. So you'll get that today. All right, my friend. The first game we're going to do, it comes on at 11 o'clock today. Navy Midshipman at UCF. Number 20 ranked UCF. So what do you look at? What's your outlook on this ball game? What does the midshipman have to do to pull an upset at the number 20 ranked UCF?
What the Navy midshipmen did last week against the Golden Domers of Notre Dame was beautiful. They played their ass off in that game. They had an opportunity to win that game. They did not give up. They did not stop playing. I didn't think they could put up that many points. They proved me wrong last week. They played to the opposition. They played up to the opposition. That's one of those losses in games that you play in where something was learned. And I'm going to see them continue the mission today. Go Navy. And I like UCF. But I like what I saw of that Navy midshipman team last week. In the effort, the scoring, and the outcome of the game, I was very, very proud of my Navy men last week. Very proud.
Yeah, if you look at this game here too, the style of offense is totally different from each other. One's an option team, the other one could be a read option team, but they pass the ball more effectively. UCF does than the midshipman does, but midshipman runs effectively. But you got to watch out for Plumlee, the quarterback for UCF. He has over 708 yards rushing out of 126 carries for 9 touchdowns. He's also passed for 156 out of 246, 2,015 yards, 12 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions in this ball game. And so far this season. They have a wide receiver in O'Keefe who has 55 receptions, 565 yards. The only thing that Navy close to that, their leading wide receivers only have 265 yards out of 16 receptions and 2 touchdowns. Will we see the midshipmen pull out a passing, a little bit of a more of a passing attack and try to contain, or are we going to see them use that running the game, try to keep UCL's offense off the field today?
I think Navy's going to try to use a little bit what they learned last week in playing Notre Dame. Hey, we can pass the ball, we can run the ball, and our defense can hold up if we support them offensively. I see them playing a little bit more of a running style as opposed to passing the ball so much today. I think the run is definitely going to be the majority style of play today with Navy offense.
Now, let me get you a question. You're a big bettor here. At 53 points is the over and under in this ball game. Or would you take the under in this game, or would you say it's going to go over that?
I'm going to take the under on that. The under.
Now, if UCF gets up and starts bombaying them, they can't hold their attack. UCF could they averaging over 35.9 a game. And Midshipman is giving up 25.8 a game.
Right.
So, I mean, these numbers are. I mean, if you look at total yards passing, the Navy Midshipmen is only averaging 100.5 a game, but they averaging over 238.7 rushing. So it's a little bit backwards, inverted. But UCF has also been balanced offense. They have 248.2 yards passing the game, and they have 249.5 rushing. They are actually out rushing the midshipmen in average.
Yes, they should. As they should outrush them. I mean, they have it all. They have the juice, so to speak. They have the juice, so to speak. But it doesn't. They're going to statistically UCF has them, but the way Navy has been playing, what Navy did last week, I'm saying that bar has been raised, and I think Navy's going to meet and match that bar today when it comes to what they can do offensively.
What I want to see out of this game is interesting because I want to see the UCF rushing attack against the Midshipmen's rushing defense because Midshipmen's only giving up 85.8 yards a game on the ground. But they're totally different on the air. They're giving up 274.4 in the air. So This is going to be interesting. And if you look on the USC's UCF part, their rush defense is only giving up 124.5 a game. But we know how the triple option works. We've seen it in the past. We know the chop blocks type deal, then go for the knees, taking them out. Teams don't like the defensive line, don't like that too much. So when you don't have enough time to prepare for an option team can really put effectively use on them. And UCF part didn't have a bye week before to getting ready for this Navy midshipmen's team. So this is a totally different animal that they're going to face today.
Right.
How does it take them more than take them the first and second quarter just to get used to it before they try to put it on in the third and fourth?
I think it all depends on how Navy comes out the gate and how UCF comes out the gate. UCF paid attention to anything that Navy did last week. I think throwing the ball on them is really, really going to intimidate them very much so as well. But it all depends on how they come out the gate. I'm a big fan of what Navy did last week. I want them to repeat the same thing they did last week, but the different outcome is them winning.
That is true. That is true, my friend. So, who do you have in this ball game today?
I got Navy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Navy too because I think Navy has got more of a running attack, and I think they can do it. And if they get the passing game with that running attack going at the same time, oh man, they're gonna have this team defense in a turmoil.
I hope so.
All right, next game we're going to do is the Illinois Fighting Alumni goes to the Big House against number 3 Michigan Wolverines. And Mr. Khaki Pants, you calling him that, Mr. Jim Harbaugh. How does this game plan affect that? And how will Illinois stop the running attack of Michigan today?
If the Fighting Illini can get on the piggyback for motivation of the basketball team, this could be upset city special. Illinois is not played with consistency to me. They got some flair, some flash, and some speed, and I like that. I love how they get after the ball, but I want to see consistent play. They could probably stir the pot up a little bit because it is November, and Michigan is playing a little cautious because they're more than likely waiting on the matchup with the Ohio State University. And if they're looking ahead and not paying attention to what's in front of them, Captain Khaki Pants and Michigan could be in some trouble today. But I don't see that being that big of a deal. But if you get it, Illini comes in there hyped and gets an early turnover and put points on the board, and Michigan is having difficulty getting started, I can see a little low-scoring halftime score with Illini winning and possibly Michigan winning this game late in the second half. Yeah,
true. So, I mean, that too. The temperature in this ball game is going to be 26 degrees.
Hey, my type of football, huh? My type of weather here. Here you go right here, buddy. Let's go. Heavy on the Jameson.
And you know, if your body gets cold, when you put the hitting on, we can see some fumbles that we never expect, or we can see some drop balls because the ball is going to be heavy and cold. So,
Put that ball down. You didn't want that.
So, I mean, Ann Arbor, Michigan, cold.
Woo! It ain't for the week.
I don't know if they got snow in the forecast, but it says sunshine and 26 degrees.
It is not for the week at all. No.
And you got Corum, the running back for Michigan. He came out of a small town in Virginia all the way to Michigan, and he's been on the bright lights here from last year and this year. How do you control this guy? Because this guy's beating you on the ground, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield. So he's like a double trouble back there.
I mean, everybody has that Swiss Army knife athlete.
So how do you slow him down? How's Brad Bellman come up with a defense to slow him down? Because if you don't stop him, that starts McCaffrey, the quarterback, and gets him going. So,
well, you got to have one guy that has one role. You know, he's a defensive-minded coach. I'm quite sure there's a couple of guys he putting responsibility in on special watch duty on containing their high-profile player, not letting him get the engine going, get the crowd into it, motivate the defense. You don't want that. So if you get the right people on him to contain the situation, not quote unquote team tackle football trying to hurt people, but you get that special athlete on him that you have on your defensive side, and you put that message in him, hey, this is your duty this entire game. Then you can probably see a different situation come about that.
Yeah, but if you look on the other hand, let's flip it on the other hand. How does Michigan defense going to slow down Brown, who has 280 carries for 1,442 yards and 7 touchdowns? So he's a runner, but he doesn't get more touchdowns than Quorum does. So
I mean, both of these teams have different blemishes of playing an effective defensive game. Will it be the day for both of them? A low-scoring affair? Turnovers are a factor of the game. Special teams are a factor, i.e. field position. What the handkerchief going to be doing on the field? So many different scenarios when you playing this late in the year and you're an undefeated team and you're waiting on the matchup next week that everybody is wanting you to have. So if Michigan comes out thinking about that game next week, the players and how practice went this week, that could be the mitigating factor right there. And if Illinois sees that and learns how to seize the moment and take advantage of that early, it could be one of those situations that happened in that Syracuse Notre Dame game.
yeah, true too. So, I mean, if you look at this too, and if you look at the analytics they got on this thing, Michigan is a 90.7% to 9.3% for Illinois.
Analytics of the game.
Yep, that's the analytics. And now look at the over and under in this game is 41.5.
41.5.
Yeah, it's the over and under.
Yeah, I can see that because of the weather.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to try to run the ball. It's going to be a fumble, maybe a scoop and score, maybe a safety today, maybe a punt return, kick return. It's that type of weather. And in this matchup, I can see it happen. But I'm going the over. I just feel like somebody's going to do something crazy today.
How about the punters trying to punt the ball? How many shank punts you think is going to be today?
Denver NFL team had 9. I could probably see 12 today with both teams combined.
You know, in cold weather, special teams are the key ingredients too. Because your punt returners got to catch the ball, and if the ball comes in hard, ooh, man, that's going to be some gross. Because we know we both played. I played football in cold, and it was not fun.
I played Sandlot in the hood in the cold. Broken bottle glass, cracked pipe needles, papers, pole in the middle of the damn field. But nobody got hurt. Nobody got hurt.
When I was growing up, you brought back a memory that when I was growing up, we played tag football in the street, but it turned out to be tackle football in the street.
We didn't play tag, played tackle at all times. I played with teenagers. I'm 7, 8 years old. I'm playing with teenagers, man.
Yep.
They were jacking me up out there.
I mean, if you look at this, both defense are good. I mean, Illinois is good against the run. They're only giving up 85.9 average, and they only giving up 161 yards passing. On the other hand, Michigan's also good against the run. They only giving up 72.7 yards a game, and they only giving up 160.1 passing yards a game. So two defenses is going to be a defensive brawl. That's partly why you see the 41.5, the over and under is set in this, because both teams play great defense.
Okay.
So you think it's going to be a defensive battle?
I think it is, but the weather is going to turn into a defensive battle. The weather is the big factor in this situation. Whoever can hold on to the ball, minimize the mistakes on defense and offensive false starts, it's going to have the advantage.
Yeah, and Illinois is coming on a 2-game skid. They lost to Michigan State 23-15. They lost to Purdue 31-24 last week. So.
And both of those games were winnable games for them, and Coach knows.
Yep, so that's going to be an interesting call. Who are you going to go for in this game?
I'm going with Michigan and Captain Khaki Pants.
Oh, Michigan. I think Michigan's going to
next week to be chaotic. I want family members not speaking to each other next week at a Michigan and the Ohio State thing.
That's right. That game is going to lose. Now, let me ask you this question. Since you brought up, could be a trap game for Michigan?
There's a couple games like that today. And yes, I do agree. That's what I'm saying. If you get to worried about the matchup that everybody wants to see, what everybody wants to see, it's not going to happen because you're not worried about the task at hand, which is this right here. That happened a few years ago, the matchup we thought everybody wanted to see in college football, but both of them lost the same fucking weekend. It's going to come to me who it was. It'd have been a hell of a matchup, but they both lost the same weekend, and the BCS prevailed again to get the right teams in the national championship.
It seems like that happens all the time between teams like this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to come down like Michigan. If Michigan wins today, it's going to come down, and Ohio State wins today, it's going to come down to Michigan and Ohio State, the last game of the season before either one of those teams come up with a loss.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's nerve-wracking here between all the fan bases today. You know, you can tell us that last week of college football season and everything is going to take shape between now and next week. So
yeah, it's absolute pandemonium going on. It's pandemonium going on right now. I mean, we want chaos. We want confusion.
Yeah.
We want to say this. I told you so.
Yeah, I got Michigan winning this game also. All right, it takes us now to the TCU Horned Frogs. Number 4, TCU Horned Frog comes in at number 4 against the Baylor Bears. How do you see this contest coming down? We know for a fact that TCU still in the month of November will have at least one letdown game in this month. They have had in the past, but Sonny Dykes has looked like they have turned over this game a little bit more, this program a little bit more than what Patterson had. Can Sonny Dykes keep TCU going today against Baylor Bears?
This is a trap game like a motherfucker. This is a setup if I've ever seen. When you know it's going to be an issue right here in this game. The point differential that both of these teams have had the past 2 weeks and the way the line has shifted in the past 12 to 24 hours is mind-boggling to me. TCU know what they can do offensively. We know they can put points on the board. They are very suspect on defense at times, and we know what Baylor can do in the month of November. They can hurt your feelings, or they can put that surprise look on your face. And this what this matchup today is trying to do. It's trying to be one of those days right here when RG3 was in school type shit matchup.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to Waco. They're going to McLean Stadium. We know the students get lined up and race their seats across the field. So we know that game transition down in Waco.
Somebody going to get hurt.
It's like hurt. It looked like running to the Bulls without the Bulls.
The things these kids do in the student body now, man. I'm like, what? I'm going to sit this one out.
Now, we look at the line here. It's TCU's only favored by 2 points.
Yep.
And if you look at your over and under, it's 57.5. So this could be a high scoring game.
I'm taking Baylor and the points.
You taking Baylor and the points?
See, TCU, man, they're in the perfect position to shock the world if they can win this game. This game has more meaning than any other game that's being played today. What you think? This is the most important matchup of the day.
Because this is the number 4. This is the number 4 spot. This is the game that can open the door for your number 5, or your number 6, or your number 7, 8, or 9 teams.
What time is this game?
This game's at noon.
Oh my God! Oh my God! So a lot of teams are going to regress and breathe a little better if Baylor wins. If TCU wins, oh my God. Oh my God. Everybody below them and above them are going to try to blow out whoever the hell they're playing today. Watch.
Now my question to you is, if Baylor wins and you got other teams that are going to be, going to play later on, like Tennessee, LSU, they play later on today. Now, if they see TCU lose, How much pressure does Tennessee have when they go to South Carolina and play South Carolina today?
They have to shut South Carolina out. They had to put 60 points on the board. They got to beat them like they own them. The hooker has to have a day. Hooker. It has to be total domination today if Baylor beats TCU. Everybody has to go on beatdown mode.
And Damian came out and said this game is worse than watching the Super Bowl 50.
Hey, that was the Broncos. The Super Bowl 50.
That's what Damian said. Damian came out and said that. So, I mean, if you look at that, that thing
matchup,
going on.
I agree. The matchup is not as sexy as we want it to be with a number 4 team playing a Baylor Bears team at this point of the season. I get that. But Baylor is one of those teams stands up for the moment of joy in November when they know they're the mitigating factor of this situation to break down in college football. That's all I'm saying. And for this game to be played at 12 o'clock, man,
I knew
it's either going to bring a lot of pressure or release a lot of pressure, depending on the outcome of this game.
Yeah, this game reminds me of the old OK Corral when you got two Westerns, you got to move, you got to go 10 spaces, turn around and shoot each other on the high noon at 12 o'clock. That's what this game feels like. You got
it's like in politics. What's that? Maine is real important in politics, and Rhode Island somewhere in there, right? One of those damn states.
Oh,
it's real important in politics. This is how this game feels today to me. It's real important in the outcome of college football today when it comes to who's going to be in what in this playoff tree situation.
And if you look at it, both teams are giving up. Both teams are exactly defense gives up 25.2 points per game for both teams. That's going to be interesting.
That's why the line is at 2, because of the numbers that these two have against each other and what they've done the past 2 weeks. That's why the line is at 2.
Baylor's in the last 5 games are coming in 3-2, and TCU is undefeated right now. So they're coming in with a 10-game winning streak going on right now. Yeah, this is a long winning streak.
But they're playing in a way where there's 2 games this year. I can't remember the teams they were playing. There were 2 games that TCU had this year where they weren't as sharp, wasn't as crisp, but they got their shit together. Both of them were after halftime.
That was number 8 Oklahoma State when they won 43-40 in 2 overtimes.
Yeah, they were not playing good football that day at all, but they stuck with it. And if you can figure it out late in the 3rd quarter, early in the 4th quarter, you're learning. But if you come out right at 3rd quarter and just on fire, that means you knew what was going on in the first half, and you fix it that fast. Sometimes it takes a little longer to fix it. And we know everybody's not healthy. We know that, but that's not even the point now.
Well, they had 3 games this year. They had the Oklahoma number against number 8 Oklahoma State, 43-40 in 2 overtimes. They had to come back from against number 19 Kansas, 38-31. They trashed Oklahoma, and then they trashed everybody else. You know, on down they trashed Oklahoma. That started getting them off because SMU, they were playing okay. They won that game 42-34. From that game, and then Oklahoma put them in the map, and then they started going on a ramp against 1, 2, 3, 4 ranked teams at the time. Number 18, Oklahoma, number 19, Kansas, number 8, Oklahoma State, number 17, Kansas State. And then they beat West Virginia 41-31. Then they beat Texas Tech 34-24, and they beat number 18 Texas 17-10. So they got wins 1, 2, 3, 4 wins over ranked teams this year.
They've been balling, man. They've been balling. Don't get me wrong. They've been balling. I want to see them go further, but I also want to see chaos. I'm part of that rare demographics that want to see this competition committee just unfoil. I want to see somebody with a bruise or a contusion on their face come Tuesday.
Yeah, they play Baylor today, and then they at home against Iowa State next week. So that's TCU.
Well, they got this thing. If they just go out there and handle business. I want to be proven wrong, TCU. Horned Frog Nation, Prove Dre Montez wrong. Huh? Come on.
Yeah, Baylor's coming off a worse loss last week against number 19 Kansas State, 31-3.
They got that ass with zip.
So we're coming down to this. Are you going to take the favorite TCU, or are you going to say Baylor pulls an upset today?
I'm gonna go two ways with you on here, Ray. I'm picking between us, TCU to win, but with my bookie, I'm taking Baylor and the points.
Not so fast. I'm gonna take a line from Lee Corso. Not so fast, my friend. I'm picking Baylor for the upset. I think the Wackos are out today. I think they're just gonna get in TCU's head. TCU's been playing with house money, last few weeks, playing with the flirt. Yeah, playing with the flirt of losing, and they come back in the second half. I think Baylor Bears are gonna come in. I think they see it as a task. Hey, they got to play in a ranked team, and they get a chance to knock them out of the college playoffs. So I think Baylor is going to come out at home and win this ball game today.
I think they've been partying in Waco since Thursday too, I believe.
Yeah, I think the football team's been in seclusion. I don't think they were out there partying. So,
please, there's a player to always slide off. Anybody seen Todd and Lamont? Always wanted to.
So we're gonna move right along here, my friend. We're gonna pick this game here. Then we're gonna take a break here. Does this team have a shot of beating this team? Does Austin Peay Governors go into Alabama and beat the Alabama Crimson Tide today?
Not a chance in hell. Not a chance in hell. Nick Saban will retire from college football today. He'll walk off the field. Yeah.
All right.
No.
Interesting on this thing. This is at Denny Stadium in Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Temperature is going to be 46 degrees, sunny. Alabama is favored 42 points over the Governors. The over and under is 56.5. Do you take the points and the over and under?
Hell yeah. I would, but I'm not gambling on that damn game. Hell no. No. Stuff like that pisses me off. No.
So we're going with Alabama.
Oh yeah.
All righty. I just put it in there because I knew they'd get a good chuckle out of me.
You know how to grind my gears, don't you, Ray?
When we get back, next few games when we come back from commercial break will be Louisiana at number 19, Florida State, East Tennessee State, Mississippi State, UMass, Texas A&M, and then we get to your boys, the Florida Gators and Vanderbilt. So we'll be right back on the All Sports All Plays Network. I am Ray. That is my friend Dre. He's got his hands up, ready to go. We'll be right back.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a plays. We're talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. Network. We on top of our game. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
What did you say?
I said Kobe Bean Bryant has been overrated ever since he passed away.
Now, I'd say they could lose about 4, but I don't see them losing 5. You know what I mean?
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays.
is the Funks D Streaming Network. Register to come on our channel at funksdnetwork.com.
Welcome back to the All Sports All Plays Network College Breakdown. I am Ray. This is Dre. We are on the All Sports All Plays Network. We are in the midst of our college breakdown segment. And when we told you we go to break, we're going to come back to these next games here. My friend, the next game we're going to talk about is the improvement of Florida State here. They're going up against Louisiana, the Raging Cajuns. Number 19, Florida State Seminoles at Doe Campbell Stadium. Florida State has picked up some steam here in the late part of the season, and then they boost themselves into the ranking. Does Mike Norvell have this program heading into the right direction going into next year with this momentum they got going so far?
Good buddy of mine, Hot Tub Dave, shout out to him. He's a huge Florida State Seminole fan. Through the words of him, this program is moving in the right direction. It's moving in the right direction. And it takes a little time in college football to turn things around. When you don't have the coach that you want, it takes everybody to buy into it because there have been some issues with the coaching scenario with Florida State. But they got some good ball players there. They got some really good ball players there. And I think this matchup here it's one of those matchups you need after what happened last week and how the season's been going for Florida State Seminoles. But I like the Seminoles in this matchup right here.
Now, if you look at the quarterback in Travis, he has improved himself in a little bit more of a passing. I mean, he's 177 out of 271 for 2,414 yards, 20 TDs, and 4 interceptions. He has improved himself as a runner and a good passer for Florida State in the last few games. What they did to Syracuse up in the Carry Dome, I'm not going to call it the wireless, whatever, that GMA wireless stadium. It's still known as the Carry Dome.
It's not FTX.
but if you look at what they did to Syracuse, and Syracuse is on a downward spiral right now since they lost to Clemson. They've been on a spiral. Were you impressed how Florida State has come up and took Dino Barber's team up in Syracuse last week, and now they're going to go into this focus? Is the Louisiana Raging Cajun running into a buzzsaw right now at Florida State? Is this going to be a competitive game than what most people thought earlier this season?
This is probably the worst time ever for them to go up against Florida State. This could be a shutout situation. You got the crowd back into it. See, when the crowd buys back into it and the momentum has shifted from where it was at the beginning of the year, now it's going in a positive direction. The team is feeling good. The players are feeling good. The coaching staff is feeling good. The student body is there. The fan base, the alumni is all on board. This could be one of those shutout situations. I feel possibly 5 or 6 shutouts happening in college football today.
I mean, if you look at this, an interesting thing, the last 2 weeks for Florida State, their defense has only given up 3 points. University of Miami, they beat 45-3. Syracuse, they beat 38-3. Both of those games was on the road.
Now they're coming home to the people.
The last 5 games, Florida State is 3-2. They have 3 straight wins. So
that's good for them.
And then
moving in the right direction. I like it.
And then the Louisiana Cajuns, the running Cajuns coming in out to beating Georgia Southern 36-17. They are also 3-2 in their last 5 games, but they have a 2-game losing streak to Troy and USM, and then they beat Georgia Southern. So they're coming on a 1-game winning streak in this ball game. So can Louisiana keep that run what they did against Georgia Southern into this game to keep that momentum going? How do they have to create the momentum and stuff on the road in Doe Campbell Stadium in front of that electric crowd?
That's a different type of game plan coming from Georgia Southern going into Florida State. You just said what they've put up defensively, what they've been able to do. So it changed the whole game plan, the whole scenario, and how you're going to attack this Florida State defense is coming in so hot. But they got so much speed, and they're one of those teams that's very fast on the ball, meaning they attack the ball. Wherever that ball is at, it's at least 3 or 4 people coming all at once. And when you have that type of commitment on the ball, that means a high turnover rate.
Yeah, I mean, that to me, what Florida State is doing right now is they're on a run. They're looking. They know they can't win the ACC because they lost to Clemson. They're out of the ACC championship pitch. I think Florida State's run right now is setting them up to next year. When they carry over to next year and where they could think they can have a team that can compete with Clemson next year.
They showing the recruits what they're capable of doing. Now all we need is you. That's how we're going to finish out the year. We're playing it for our incoming class. We're playing this game to show what we have, what's going to be here when you get here and a part of this team and you add to this nucleus. Here you go. That's the mentality they're playing with right now, which is not a bad idea at all. It's not a bad idea at all.
Yeah, I mean, to me, what I've seen with Florida State in their progression, they won games last year that they weren't supposed to win, and they didn't keep it up. And then started this season, they started off pretty good, and they moved in slow. But then they picked it up, and the last 3 games they picked it up against Georgia Tech, they picked it against Miami, they picked it up against Syracuse. How does Florida State keep this going when they know are they trying to play up into a little bit bigger bowl than where they were progress at early this thing? Are they trying to get into that near the Peach Bowl, a little bit under the next tier, Gator Bowl maybe?
Florida State is trying to get in a meaningful bowl game based on what has happened this college football season. In that scenario that you said, I think every football team has a situation. They've won games they shouldn't have won. They've lost games they shouldn't have lost. And the undefeated teams out there, not all of them have won those games. I mean, Georgia should have lost 2 games this year. Now, that for a fact. Michigan should have lost 1. TCU should have lost 2. But it's all on how you make those adjustments, how you don't fall in that little trap, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, the over and under is 52 points, and Florida State is favored by 24. Do they win by this much?
I believe Florida State can sustain a large victory today with the mentality that they're playing with, what the task at hand is, what the coach wrote on the board.
Now, are you thinking the players are now buying into Mike Norvell, the coach now?
It's not. I don't know what to call it buying in, but right now, Coach, I feel what you're saying. Okay, Coach. Okay, we're in November. Okay, I got you.
So to me, I think the way the talking around here is, I think the fans are now finally accepting him as a coach, because last year they were like. And very, I think he was like mostly on the fans part of LFSU and the boosters. I think he was on a hot seat.
Bet you were getting a lot of that on talk radio down there. Who is this guy? Who does he think he is coming down here ruining a good college football program? He's ruining it.
Dude, 10XL here. They have what you call the Seminole Chop Talk on their radio station. They have a section on the morning show. They have a guy comes in. He watches the team, carries the team up and stuff like that. And then he said that last year, this is according to him from last year, he said that the fans up there were not buying in. They were still trying to get Deion Sanders there. This year, he's done completely changed at 360 after that win, after these last 3 wins, that he sees the team more improving under Novell, and they don't want to see a coaching change now. So now the fans up there are saying he's off the hot seat for them as of right now until next year, if they start losing again next year. But the problem is, I think he's starting to stain his recruiting. I think he's starting to bring his players in and getting away from the coach that he had before. Now he's got his players coming in. So do you think now his recruiting style of play that he was when he did at Louisiana is now taking effect here at Florida State? And now can he start winning the recruits in the state of Florida?
Now that he has gained the trust of the people, the student body and the boosters to help with the recruiting process and the belief system and what he is capable of doing with his own players, we're about to see that for sure next college football season, because now his players are going to get a chance to be on that field. And a lot of coaches go through that. That's one of the downfalls of accepting a new college football job. You're coaching other people, players here. But that's what coaching really gets its true definition from, when you're able to do that and find success in that, i.e. wins, i.e. fighting for a national championship, or putting the school in a situation they've never been in before, a big-time bowl game, getting a high recruit.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that too. I think he's starting to get his recruits in. I think it took him a while for the fans to start getting onto his game plan, what he's trying to do. But I think he, all in his mind, I thought he had a strategy plan as a beginning. A little building blocks here, a little building block. I think the wins from last year, that the teams that they beat, like North Carolina when they were ranked, and knocked them out of the rankings. Teams like, they had the good wins at various points of the season. I think they were building blocks to this point right here. But I think it took Travis a little bit more time to understand the college role. I think he understands this now. I think getting Wilson, that big 6'7" wide receiver or tight end, whatever he is, he's a hybrid type deal, who's been really effective in the red zone for them and down the field, and brought them back in some of the games that they were about to lose and come back and win, like Louisville. They were down big in Louisville, and this guy single-handedly brought them back and beat Louisville. So I think I think he relied on that. I think he learned from that. Now he's going to more players. So I think the team is really, I think he had that stepping block. And I think now the fans, the outside people, are starting to recognize that more. And now could this Florida State be back to Florida State? It could be in the next 2 to 3 years.
Slow down. Slowly. Whoa. They got to be able to recruit a running game. And right now, with Georgia being the top of the food chain when it comes to that in that region of the country, if they can get over that hump, okay. But until they control the running game, I don't see them being back in the limelight as that, because they had a running game when Florida State was in the top of the food chain of competition.
Yeah, I mean, they got a running back right now, and he's got 105 carries, leading the team with 774 yards and 5 touchdowns.
But I'm talking about a dominant back. To be in that top echelon of that conversation, we need that water cooler name, that Ward Dunn type name, that Dalvin Cook situation. We need those names like that.
But how about if they get a running back room by committee? Could that sustain too? That works too.
But let's see it. Let's get it started. It's been a long time. And if you're trying to go back to that way of Florida State, that could take some time. But to get Florida State back in that talk coach's way, now that could happen within the next 3 or 4 years. I could see that.
Who are you taking in this ball? I got Florida State winning this game.
Florida State too. Can't make the noise no more. We can still do that.
I made that pick for my wife. She's a Florida State fan.
Ray's pick of the week for his wife.
All right, the next game we talked about, East Tennessee State and Mississippi State Bulldogs. Does Mike Leach run the table on this team and put them out quick in the first quarter? How big is the score going to be after the first quarter?
28-0. Mississippi. Mike Leach pretty much is going to tell his coaches, I'm not talking to the team today. You guys are. I've already said what I had to say this week. It's up to you guys. I can see Mike Leach pulling that today.
Now, there is a prop bet that Mike Leach will make some kind of comment that nobody will understand.
It's every week. He gives a doozy every week. I would love to hear his kids. I think he just has a daughter. I would love to hear some of the things he said to her growing up when it was coming that learn lesson talk, or you've done something, now I got to have a conversation with you. I would love to hear those two scenarios from one of his kids or his daughter.
Yeah.
Because when I get older, I want to be like that to my grandkids. I want to say something that doesn't make any fucking sense at all. Nothing.
I mean, well, what he get? I mean, he just, to me, he seems he's not all there sometimes when he interviews.
He's there, but there's a reason. They did a documentary on him a few years ago. ESPN did. There's a reason he does that. He's just like a Popovich in San Antonio. They're the same people. They're the same people. Same people. There's a reason why they talk that way to the media. It's not being cocky. It's not being refreshing. It's not being an asshole. It's a reason why they do it.
Yeah. Now, Mississippi State is favored by 38.5 this game, and the over and under is 60.5. Do you take the over on this one?
Ooh, I like that 38.5. I like that.
So you just take the 38.5. You won't take the 60 and go over, or are you going to take the 60 and go under?
Oh, it's going under for sure. I don't see that many points being scored.
And
I think he's going to call off the dogs in the third quarter. Easy now, boys. Easy now. Put him in the shed, coach. Put him in the shed. Bring out the third string.
I got Mississippi State. Who you got?
I got Mississippi State.
Righty. All right, Jimbo Fisher, is he on the hot seat?
I don't understand how he still has a job now. So yes.
Now, if
when you're that high profile of a coach, and you come from an institution where you won a national championship, and you come with an impressive coaching resume, and you get another high-profile job, and you're not able to put out anything worthy of what your resume has said, it's time to go.
Now, if Texas A&M loses game in Kyle Field, we already know they lost to Appalachian State this year. They play in UMass Minuteman at Kyle Field. If UMass comes in here and beats them, another SEC team losing to a non-ranked college that doesn't have really – it's not known for their football program and beats them, is Jimbo Fisher fired right there on the spot?
You ever seen the movie Varsity Blues?
Yep.
With John Voight, James Vanderbeek.
Yep.
Scott Conn. There's a scene at halftime when they're not playing up to their potential. And he wants to choke the shit out of James Vanderbeek. Mm-hmm. And he just is shaking in his face. And they tell him, if you don't get out of here, we're not going back on that field. That's what they're going to say to Jimbo Fisher. The whole team going to say, Coach, it's over.
So we're going to have the college version of Varsity Blues.
Yeah. If they down at halftime, the players going to say, Coach, we're not going back on that field if you come back out there with us. Security, can you escort Coach up out of here? Team, let's go. Then they're going to come back and win the game in the second half where the coaches and the kids are coaching themselves.
All right.
I'm going to say to us on the media, Jimbo Fisher has a medical issue. He's not going to come back out the second half. That's what they're going to say.
SEA says Mississippi State. Damon said Mississippi State coach sounds like Adam Gase. I wonder if they have the same drug dealer. I don't know, Damon. They could have. Don't know.
It's funny when you find out you have the same drug dealer as a very high influential person in your city. You both at the same drug dealer. I was like, Mr. Mayor, what are you doing here?
All right. I'm taking the upset on this. I'm taking UMass over Texas A&M. Yeah,
man,
I'm pulling the
upset.
upset.
Drum roll. You need some fireworks going off in the background. You need the sound. You need a band. That's that deal, man. You need that. Yeah. Hell yeah. Take a pick like that. Hell yeah.
My drum roll.
I'm taking A&M. Taking A&M.
You taking A&M? You need all the help you can get, though. All right, my friend. We're going to go to not the swamp. We're going to talk about the team that was in the swamp. But they're going to Nashville today and taking on the, yes, I say a one-game winning streak in the SEC, Vanderbilt, the Commodores, today in Nashville. Does Vandy's win over Kentucky carry over into this ball game against your Gators today?
Let's go Gators. Let's go Gators. As we here in St. Louis, Missouri, call Nashville, Nash Vegas. Nash Vegas. They got some pretty women down there. Keisha, Stephanie, Nicole. Mr. Thomas, how you doing, sir? The way Florida played last week, I saw some pros. I saw some good pros in what I like. I feel comfortable in what the offense is trying to do. I feel very comfortable in my defense. I really do. And the receiving core that we have, they're starting to stretch the field with some confidence. I'm liking it as well. Now, Vandy is not at the top of his game in football. This could be one of those games where we can practice on the shutout, put up like 50 points today. I'd love to put a 50-piece up today.
Yeah, I mean, Vanderbilt's giving up 35.2 a game. They only scoring 26.4. Florida's scoring 31.9, but only giving up 26.9. So,
yeah, the point differential is not in my favor due to the fact we have had some matchups where we were in some games where we put up points, they put up points, but they seem to put up more points than we do, equaling in an L. But we can put up 36 to 40 points a game. We have that type of offense, but we don't have the commitment to do that with the confusion on what to do with some of these defensive schemes that we seem to run up to that we haven't covered in practice. That's the only thing I do not like. There's been some scenarios last week where hi, Anthony, came to the line and he saw a defensive setup and didn't know what to do. Now we're burning timeouts because we didn't see that formation and the feedback is not going there or the signal calling out in time. But if we fix that, I can see us playing absolute phenomenal Gator football today.
yeah, that's something that, you know, you're looking at the Gators. The Gators the last 2 weeks, they beat Texas A&M 41-24 at Kyle Field. Then they went to the Swamp and beat South Carolina 38-26. But if you look at the common opponents that you look, Florida has had better. They scored a little bit more, but except for the Georgia game, they had Georgia on the ropes in the third quarter. That fourth quarter came up. But
they had them on the ropes.
The LSU game, you only lost by 10, 45-35. But you beat Missouri 24-17. Vanderbilt lost to Missouri 17-14. So, I mean, then they lost South Carolina 38-27. And then they beat number 24, University of Kentucky 24-21 in Lexington.
Don't tell me about that. I mean, the team has potential. I didn't see a college playoff configuration for my Gators coming in. I believe I said, I think I said 7-5. I think I picked us to go 7-5, getting a nice little bowl game. Nothing big, nothing fancy. I think I'm on pace for the same thing. Nothing big, nothing fancy. But I like our recruiting options, what we have coming to the team next year. I like that. The outlook for my Gators the next 2 years is looking pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, they started to recruit good, but they still can't go down the street to Brayton, Florida today. IMG
we're
Academy.
Fine with that. We're perfectly fine between UCF, USF, Florida State. I'm good. I'm good. I like how now it's feathering out. It's sprinkling out. We're seasoning everybody. Everybody getting a little taste of the FLA. And that's what I want. Spread it out. We've had our run getting the finest, getting the best thoroughbreds in the South. We're fine. Give me that mediocre shit. Give me that kid that's being overlooked that wants to work hard. I'd take him any day. Any day.
Yeah. And Florida's favored by 14, and the over and under is 57 in this ballgame.
I don't bet on my team, but I'm picking Florida to win. I've never gambled on Florida. Never.
I don't either. Okay. I got Florida also winning this ball game, so yeah. He said Vanderbilt by 55. Damien did. If Vanderbilt wins by 55, they'll run the coach off the field.
You're gonna see me on TMZ. If Vandy beats Florida by 55, you're gonna see Dre Montez on live TV breaking news, TMZ in St. Louis, Missouri.
Dre, if you do that, don't go bungee jump off the arch now.
Hell no. I'm not jumping off nothing. You're gonna see an angry black man on his way to Gainesville, Florida.
I can see it now. We're watching the local news here. The guy driving this car, Dre Montez, he is now speeding through Missouri all the way down. He's heading to Gainesville, Florida right now.
Oh, no, it will be no driving because I'm legally blind. I'm walking all the way to Gainesville, Florida. I'm going to be that mad.
Oh, wait a minute. They're going to have to make a movie out of it. You got Forrest Gump that ran so long, and we're going to have you running. We're going to have you walking.
I'm walking. I'm going to take my time.
By the time you get there, you forget what you're going for.
No, I will not. No. You ever held in an argument with a woman for like 2 days or 2 weeks? You don't forget nothing. 6 months ago, you said you didn't know what my jacket was, and there you go finding my jacket right now. So you knew my jacket was at 6 months ago. I don't forget nothing.
All right. We're in the part of the show that we're going to do a little bit of a wrap 'em, pick 'em. I'll show you the teams that come up, and then we'll pick them until we get to a certain point where I'll say stop, and then we'll break down more games. Due to time constraint, we have to do wrap 'em, pick 'em. So, all right, you ready? UConn Huskies at the Army Black Knights. Who you got?
Give me UConn. I'm rolling with Molly with ESPN. I'm rolling with Molly. Give me UConn.
I'm gonna go with you on that one. I'm gonna take UConn on that one. You know, the Navy and me don't want to pick Army too much. I lost last week again.
That was it. Last week was enough.
All righty, my friend. The next game it will be Virginia Tech Hokies at Liberty.
Liberty Mutual. Liberty Mutual. Liberty.
You gonna take Liberty?
Yeah.
All right. Let me fix something right quick here.
He's got to fix something right quick.
I had to fix the header on my spreadsheet. So you're taking Liberty over Virginia Tech, correct?
Yes.
I'm gonna go with the Hokies on this one. I think the Hokies are gonna win this one.
Hokie gang, you turn yourself around. That's what it's
I'm gonna go with the Hokie Nation on that one. All righty, Wisconsin at Nebraska.
Ooh, give me my black shirts, man. Give me Nebraska.
I'm gonna stay with Wisconsin on that one. I think Wisconsin is trying to play something that they trying to win and trying to get a good look because Dave Dorson could be their next head coach at NC State. Could be. All right, Northwestern at Purdue. Does Northwestern finally get a win on the U.S. soil?
Not a chance at all. Give me Purdue.
You getting Purdue?
Give me them Boilermakers.
Well, I think Northwestern's tired to hear me say they haven't won on the U.S. continent yet. So I think they're going to get their first win today in the U.S. soil.
In the U.S. soil, on the U.S. soil. The U.S. soil.
All righty. Indiana Hoosier at Michigan State Spartans.
Can never pick Michigan State in anything. Give me Indiana.
I'm gonna take Michigan State on this one because they're playing at East Lansing, Michigan. All righty. Yeah, we're gonna change it up a little bit here. We're gonna go with a college breakdown right here. Since I have some Duke fans that don't think I talk about Duke on the show, we're gonna break down the Duke Blue Devils at the Pittsburgh Panthers today up in Pittsburgh. So how do you look at this ball game today?
I mean, Duke is starting to get a little bit more attention in football than ever before. They've impressed me on defense for sure. And I didn't know they could score like that offensively. They have the potential. Pitt has been a letdown to me. I had Pitt on the radar to be in the college playoff situation. The way they were finished last year and the expectations on them this year, they did not live up to the brand at all. But in this matchup, I kind of want to give Pitt the upper hand in this, but in a way, Duke sounds like and feels like that could surprise some people today by putting up a lot of points and this being a high-scoring game.
This game is another cold game. It's going to be 31 degrees, cloudy up in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is 6-4, 3-3 in the ACC. Duke is 7-3, 4-2 in the ACC. It doesn't matter what Duke does now because they're been officially eliminated from contention of the ACC championship. We know Clemson, North Carolina is playing that. But for Duke Blue Devils win today, it has to be that quarterback. That quarterback has to do it on the pass and the run to keep the Pittsburgh Panthers defense honest here. How does Pitt alleviate him from running out of that pocket when the blitz comes? If you don't stay in your lane, with Duke's quarterback, he's going to hurt you. Point blank.
A linebacker has to stay home. You got to keep one of the linebackers got to stay home. Somebody got to stay home. Somebody got to play red rover, red rover, red rover. I got him. Eyes left or right or middle. Somebody has to be that guy. Does Pitt have a player of those special skill sets, or can it be a two-man situation? Then that puts you at more of a man-to-man situation, well, more of a zone situation then.
Now, I get that, but Pete Arducci doesn't like to play a spy on the linebacker. He likes to come at you and blitz you from all different angles at different places. They have a corner blitz, they have a outside linebacker blitz, they have a defensive end blitz type deal. So now, if you blitz so much and your defensive end gets out of the gap, you got the back door open, and that's when he hurts people. Because in that North Carolina game against Duke, he hurt us with 160-some yards rushing because we left the back door open when we didn't blitz with and a gap blitz type deal. We blitz and our defensive end lost leverage on them.
I believe the speed factor on defense is a little bit more faster on Pitt than on Carolina's defense. So I think they can do a little bit more things with the belief system, knowing what they can do with their speed. But it'd be more of a zone situation to see if that quarterback is going to try to take the situation and run or do some RPOs. And that's Carolina. Duke doesn't have a big-time tight end. They got more receiver play than tight end play. Right. So that's an easier matchup for them.
They lost
as far as Pitt.
They lost I don't know if he was a tight end. I know they lost Bobo, who went to UCLA. He's doing a good job at the UCLA. Last year, he graduated out of Duke and went and transferred out to UCLA and on Chip Kelly. I know he's doing pretty good out there. But what is your assessment on Elk, the new head coach at Duke? They came over, the defensive coordinator from Texas A&M came over to be the first-time head coach at Duke University. He's done a good job so far. I mean, they're 7-3, 4-2. Nobody expected Duke to be 7-3 and 4-2 in the ACC right now.
Again, when coaches go into a new field, new job, new situation of opportunity, and there's a positive outcome, the coach is doing his job. The coach is really doing – he's coaching strangers. That's how I commend people that adopt or are foster parents. You're doing a good job with somebody else's kid. That's a lot to take in. That's a lot of responsibility to take in. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. And if your message is coming across in a positive way, that's a good job. That's going to take some time. The record explains that. But now they know what they're dealing with. And that makes the job and it makes the path and your progression is a little bit more easier and to figure out.
Now, I don't want to put fear in some of the Duke fans and stuff like that, but we know that Elk came from Texas A&M. Texas A&M people are watching his progression at Duke University.
Mm-hmm.
If he continues if they decide to keep Jimbo Fisher one more year, and he does another good job at Duke this year, we know how Steve Spurrier did it at Duke back in the '80s when he did that, and then Florida came calling. He left Duke to go to Florida. If Texas A&M comes calling to him in the next 2 to 3 years, does he leave his job at Duke and go back to Texas A&M?
If that's what he's trying to do, and if he can pull off what he's trying to do at Texas A&M, I can see that being moved. But if it doesn't make sense, why do it? It's like, why the rush to get Deion out of Jackson State? The move has to make sense for the coach as well. We all know what we want as fans and the alumni and the players. But if it doesn't make sense for the coach, why do it?
Yeah.
So it has to be a move that makes sense for him.
I'm just testing some of the waters and see what you're coming out with on that. But
I guess the same thing happened with Scott Frost.
Yeah.
He saw a situation to go back to his alma mater, and it just didn't turn out the way he wanted to. Darren Erstad did the same thing. Saw an opportunity to go back and help out the alma mater. But it doesn't work out for everybody. It's a great Disney situation. It's a great Pixar conversation. But when it actually happened, it doesn't work. Well, like, wow, why did he do that? As in Scott Frost.
Yeah, if you look at this too, Pitt's defense only giving up 97.7 yards rushing. Duke's offense rushed for 203.8 yards rushing. But Pitt, on the other hand, he has that one good running back, but he goes missing sometimes during games. And he has that one play that like the North Carolina game, Pitt gave up that fumble, turned that game around for North Carolina, and Carolina won the game. So now, last 2 games he's put a complete game together, not turning the ball over, rushing the ball effectively. But Salvo's the quarterback for Pitt, has passed the ball very well the last 2 games too. But Duke in the last 3 games, they have been playing outstanding football. They beat Miami 45-21. They beat Boston College 38-31 at Boston College and at Miami. They went at home and they won 24-7 against Virginia Tech. Pitt, since losing to North Carolina, has won 2 straight, beating Syracuse 19-9 and beating UVA 37-7. So, which momentum? How does Duke carry the momentum on the road now? Because they already got two road wins out of the last 3 road games they played.
And they're 7-3.
They're 7-3 this year.
So they already got a bowl game locked up. So that eases the pain. That makes the Blue Devils fan base feel a little bit better. So right now, they're just trying to make it look good and have a good effort for the coach going out to close this football season out. But Pitt, on the other hand, wants to finish even stronger due to the letdown factor that happened within the first 4 weeks of the season. So they're trying to rebound in a big way. You can't get back 4 weeks in one game. You can't get any of that back at all. Just got to go ahead and play Pitt-style football. Do what you said you were going to do, but do it on a little bit more consistent basis as the football season is coming to an end. They're in a bowl situation as well to play in a better bowl situation. Let's get some money and get some better recruits again next year. Let's make it look good for what the coaches got to go and do in the offseason. But I got Pitt winning this game. And they play with a Steelers player, don't they?
Yep, they play at that. It's now not named Hinesville anymore. It's named Assurant Stadium.
It's not FTX, is it?
No. It's called Assured Stadium, ACRISURE Stadium.
Well, they keep getting away with these scams, man. They got everybody in that scam. Everybody got duped.
Yeah, I want to take Duke in this one. I think Duke's playing outstanding football right now. I think they got a 3-game winning streak going on since they lost to North Carolina. It's funny. These 2 teams lose to North Carolina and goes on a winning streak after the loss.
Every time.
Yeah, that's just funny to look at. It's just interesting to look at. But I got Duke winning this game at Pittsburgh. So I know you need to check my temperature and make sure I ain't sick. All righty. Who you got in this one right here? The UTSA Roadrunners versus Rice Owls. Who you got in this one?
Who the hell? Who?
UTSA Roadrunners.
UTSA. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me UTSA.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with them. I think they can win this game handily. All right, number 15, Kansas State. Let's talk about this game here. They playing the West Virginia Mountaineers up in West Virginia.
We're gonna be kissing cousins. We're gonna make it all right, all right, all right, all right. Give me the WV.
WV on this one?
Give me the WV. The WV. Give me the WV.
I think Martinez is going to be back today. Give me K-State. K-State plays better with Martinez at quarterback.
Good call.
All righty, my friend. Let's go. Let's move along here. Let's go back to Rapid Pick'em.
Rapid Pick'em. It's a phenomenally new game that's set in a third world country back in 1738.
Damien said K-State for him on that one. All right, my friend. The next game we're going to pick on this Rapid Pickup will be the Washington State Cougars at Arizona Wildcats. Who you got?
Give me Arizona.
And you stole my thunder. That's why I picked too.
Arizona.
I guess great minds think alike.
Hey! It's a commercial.
Houston Cougars at East Carolina, the Pirates. Who you got?
There are some Cougars in Houston. True story. There are some Cougars in Houston. I've seen a couple. Give me one of my favorite party schools in America. ECU. Give me the Pirates.
Yeah, they're going to party up on the Green Hill today. That's what they do after every home game. Party on the Green Hill. North Alabama Lions at Memphis Tigers. Who you got?
Give me Memphis. Hope Ja Morant is okay, but give me Memphis.
Yeah, I'm taking Memphis because I don't know too much about North Alabama.
They're on the north side of Alabama.
Yeah, I got that part about the name of the school, but Damien said Ty, and he said Houston on that one. So, Mike,
Cougars in Houston.
There's some Cougars everywhere.
Barracudas.
All right, Georgia State Panthers at James Madison, the Dukes.
Ooh.
Damien takes Memphis.
My little homie Cassie Joe. I'm going for Georgia State now. Georgia State.
Going with Georgia State?
Yeah.
Giving them Dukes up in James Madison. Harrisburg, Virginia. The mountains of Harrisburg. Been by that stadium a couple of times. You have to actually, if you go from Washington, D.C. on the back up and through the mountains, you go to Virginia Tech, you got to pass Harrisburg and you got to pass JMU. You see that on the road.
Yeah, I've been to Blacksburg. I've been there. Up 95, as they call it. Up 95.
Yeah, up 95, yeah. All right, my friend. Oregon State Beavers at Arizona State Sun Devils. Who are you going to take in this ball game here? Number 23 ranked team, Oregon State.
Give me Oregon State.
Yeah,
Oregon.
Yeah, give me Oregon. Give me that one right there. This next game is going to be very interesting here. He's taking Georgia State also. Damien did on that last pick. All right, my friend. We're going to talk about this game right here. The Golden Domers. Oh, I deleted the wrong one. Let me bring that back up.
Back that on up. Back that on up. Back that on up. Back that on up. Back it on up.
Accidentally deleted the wrong one. Let me get it real quick, guys. Sorry about the technical difficulty there.
Rudy.
I
can't understand, but I think it's the student body. They're telling out the name of Rudy Rudiger, who's a walk-on.
There we go.
In his senior year here now. He was a walk-on freshman, and it seems as though the student body is one Rudy Rudiger to get in the game.
All right, Boston College at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is coming off the Boston College coming off the big victory against North Carolina State in Carlo Finley Stadium last week. How does Boston College do against Notre Dame today? How does Notre Dame can take the momentum away from Boston College?
You know, this is the Catholics versus Catholics rendition of a game. I was very fond of this matchup in the days of Lou Holtz. Big fan of this matchup because it always came very classical. It just something about Boston College, even before Matt Ryan went there, just something about Boston College and Notre Dame playing each other that just really get to the point. And I've been to a Boston College game in Boston College, and that fan base is incredible. They changed my life. I didn't know football was like that up there about Boston College. And then Notre Dame, on the other half, I didn't know where the Golden Domers were going after the injury to the quarterback. They've turned my life around. And the way they played last week against Navy, I saw a glitch. They won the game, but I saw a glitch in Notre Dame's defense, where I think there is a problem on defense, but today I don't see them having a problem at all.
Now,
not an easy win, but they're going to win.
The question I got for you is, does Notre Dame have the corner that can shut down Flowers, the wide receiver at Boston College? Supposed to be one of the best wide receivers in the ACC.
See, that's why I saw the weakness set on defense with them was on the corner side of the ball. You beat them or it's going to be a flag. That's what I saw when the Navy Notre Dame game last week. I don't see any real effective defensive technique when it comes to the matchup one-on-one situation. Now, if the ball is thrown under, it's going to be pick city. But just matchup on matchup, I see a disadvantage for Notre Dame on a corner matchup.
Now, Payne, the quarterback you call him a baby, with the baby look, his name is Payne. He is 128 out of 203, 1,547 yards, 18 TDs, and 5 interceptions going on this season. But if the starting quarterback for Boston College he wasn't starting last week when they beat NC State. The freshman came in and beat NC State last week. They got a party. I think he's starting this week too. But Zach Flowers, 67 reception for 921 yards and 10 touchdowns. Does he get 79 yards today to get him over 1,000 yards receiving?
The quarterback for Boston College?
Yeah, he's throwing to Flowers. Flowers right now is 79 yards short of 1,000 yards receiving this year. Does he get that today?
Oh, yeah, he'll get that today. He'll get that. He'll get about $105 today.
So you going with Notre Dame?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a good friend. My person was stationed with, Tim Henderson. He's in Notre Dame. I picked out Notre Dame for him. So I had my boy, big time listener here, Damon. He's also taking the Golden Domers of Notre Dame. So we're all in agreement with Notre Dame.
The Golden Domers, my buddy Jay, who lives down there in Tampa, Florida. Big Golden Domer fan.
All right, let's go back up to the top here. Next one. The next pick, Old Dominion, the Monarchs against Appalachian State. The Mountaineers up in Boone, North Carolina today. Who's going to ride the Victory Tweetzy Railroad today?
Pour me some moonshine and pour me some moonshine. I live up in Boone. Give me App State.
Yeah, I think App State will do it. I think Grandfather Mountain, the Swinging Bridge, will be loaded today on victory parties. The Tweetzy Railroad. I think the Cowboy Indians will be having a whole bunch of people going on today. See, you ain't think I knew something about Boone, North Carolina, huh?
These are real things, people in the Midwest that are listening. He is not making that shit up. That is really actual things that are in Boone, North Carolina.
Yes. If you want to take yourself, come to Boone, North Carolina, go across the Swinging Bridge of Boone, North Carolina, 2,500 feet above sea level, and about 2,500 feet above the mountains. in the valley. You can see your bears running underneath you. That's the view. Tweetsie Railroad is a full train with cowboys and Indian. Yes, they do that there in Boone, North Carolina, my friend.
With some of the nicest people ever, man. Some of the nicest people ever up there in Boone, North Carolina, man. Some of the nicest people ever.
Appalachian State, Damian Pig. I want to have Kurt Hershey liked it up there. I mean, they did game day from there, so.
I mean, everybody loved it, man. It hasn't been a bad experience with college game day in probably over 10 years. I can't remember what venue it was. It was just an awful experience with the rudeness of the fans that got there early. Can't remember where they were at. But Boone was a good time, man. It was a real good time.
Oh, they were in the marketplace on the campus. That's awesome. Where they were. That's where they were at. My friend, we have to do this, but we're going to go ahead and bring in the number one team in the nation, the Georgia Bulldogs at Kentucky. What kind of game will we see from the Georgia Bulldogs and Kentucky today from Kroger Field in Lexington, Kentucky?
Man, I'm telling you, I wish I could still drive, man. I would make some college football games today, man. There's some good matchups today that are drivable in one day around me in the region that are going on. And this is one of those games. I've seen Georgia play before, but I've never seen Kentucky play football. And this is one of those games I really would love to go and see. This could be one of those set-up fucking games too, Ray.
Yep.
Because we already know Stetson Bennett is a 12-year college football quarterback. He's a hero's welcome. The book, the story is already done. Hollywood just waiting on him to sign the dotted line. On the other hand, you got Kentucky. They have been on a noise maker for the past few years, what that football team has been doing. Normally, the basketball team is making noise, but in this case, the football team been making a little noise the past few years. After what they did to my team, Florida, I don't want Georgia getting too cocky in this game. But Georgia needs a beat down. What time is this game being played? 3:30?
Yeah, it's 3:30 on CBS.
See, the punishment is not going to be known until probably halfway through the TCU game. Coach is not going to tell Georgia how bad he wants the beating to go down depending on the outcome of the TCU game. So if the TCU game is even close, Georgia's going to go out here and put a whooping on Kentucky. If TCU loses, that's where it gets interesting. Georgia can end up playing lax-type football.
Now, if you look at Georgia, Edwards, the main ball carrier, the leading rusher on Georgia, 93 carries, 497 yards, and 7 touchdowns. But he has a fumble problem. He has a turnover problem. He doesn't, when he runs, sometimes he let the ball hang out and they can punch it out of him. He doesn't put the 2 hands over him. So, but the biggest matchup that you got to worry about Georgia is Brock Bowers, the tight end, the hybrid tight end, who can run the ball and catch the ball. And you don't know where he's lining up either. He can line up at wide receiver, he can line up at tight end, he can block you guys. Or he can run a tight end in reverse. We have seen that
like
a couple
Mark
times.
Navarro and Jeremy Shockey.
So, how does Kentucky take Brock Bowers out of this ballgame today?
You can't. He's a big dude. He has wide hips, exceptional hands. Football IQ is very, very high. He knows when he has the advantage, and he has a good communication factor with his quarterback. He has that nonverbal communication skill. I'm open. Or the double look back. You see this matchup I got. I see something hot right here. Let's go. When you see that, you have something special going on. And Georgia has it. They have that special connection with Stetson Bennett and his tight end. Then also number 55 on offense for Georgia is a beast. I'm not blocking him. No. His run blocking is phenomenal. Phenomenal.
Now, if you look at this too, the one wide receiver, McConkey, he had some trouble catching the ball earlier this year. And then Florida and Georgia, all the way up to the Florida game, He has now found his hands the last 2 games against Tennessee and against Mississippi State. He's ran a reverse now too. So now they got plays with reverse receivers. Will you be surprised if the offensive coordinator for Georgia decides to run a option reverse today?
I don't think no trickery will be done in this game whatsoever due to the way that Georgia played against Mizzou and the way Georgia played at Florida. There were some hiccups right there. And if they have those hiccups in this matchup today against Kentucky, and Kentucky can take advantage of those hiccups and mistakes and slow starts and field position, it could be a situation where they're in a spot where now they got to rethink the whole game plan now. But I don't see a trick play coming today at all.
All right, my friend. Who you got? Georgia or Kentucky?
I'm going with Uga until proven guilty.
Yeah, I got to say with Georgia in that one, too. Let's see what Damien's picking on this one. He's picking the upset. He's got University of Kentucky upsetting Georgia today. Okay, we'll check that out and see if you were right on that one. All right, my friend. Number 2, Ohio State Buckeyes go into Landover, Maryland, College Park, Maryland, to play the University of Maryland, the Terps. Fear the Terps. Nobody's fearing the Terps right now. Nobody's fearing it.
I like Maryland, though.
Oh, you might like Maryland, but nobody's feeling the Terps right
Maryland
now.
against who?
Ohio State, number 2 ranked team in the nation.
The Ohio State. What time is this game?
This game's also at 3:30 on ABC.
They're gonna shut them out. They're gonna try to pitch the shutout. And we know the Ohio State coach has that type of behavior in him.
Maryland's only been shut out one time this year. That was against number 14 Penn State last week, 30-0 at Happy Valley.
Only kissed one girl in grade school, but somehow I got 6 kids, so anything is possible.
Yeah, true. Does you see Tua Bailoa's brother doing anything in this ball game today?
Meaningful and impactful?
Yep.
No. From Maryland?
Yeah.
No, man. I think it's gonna be more about Marvin Harrison Jr. Because he is a freak of nature. His stock keep rising.
Yeah.
The young man is making catches that on Sundays, on Monday nights, on Thursday night football. This guy has NFL caliber written all over him.
He's got to live up to his dad's
No, he ain't got to
reputation.
live up to shit. No. Just because he has his name and that's his father, no, he ain't got to live up to nothing. Marvin Harrison Sr. was not like that in college. He got that way in the pros. Marvin Harrison Jr. is that deal in college. He is that deal. He's going across the middle. He's toe tapping with both feet on the sideline. He's making difficult catches look routine. He's defeating the double teams with footwork. The way he runs his route, the dude is something else. He's something special.
Yeah, if this game is over by the 3rd quarter, do you see him pulling all the starters?
Hell yeah. In a perfect world, this game over with by 2nd quarter, halftime. That's it.
Well, Damien
well
here,
done, we got you.
Damien here said Ohio State by 100.
They would definitely kick that coach out of football if some shit like that happened.
You taking Ohio State? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All righty.
The Ohio State.
All right. Next game coming up on the All Sports All Plays College Breakdown will be. It will be the Miami Hurricanes have any chance to beat the number 9 Clemson Tigers at Death Valley today?
Not a chance in hell. No. Dabo's still pissed. He pissed off this whole situation and scenario, what was at stake and what Clemson let slip away. Talk about being unprepared. Talking about being not ready for the moment, that's what happened to Clemson. I can imagine we talk about how practice will be for Alabama when Nick Saban loses. How do you think practice was for Clemson during the Thanksgiving break? I bet it wasn't easy. He's pissed in more ways than one.
Are you surprised that Clemson's up towards the mountain? It's going to be 57 degrees there today.
It's what today?
It's going to be 57 degrees.
Oh, man, the shirt's
Clemson.
coming off today. Wife beaters today, Paul.
And they're up near the mountains of South Carolina. So, I mean, 57 degrees. I don't see a scenario where Miami will have a shot even trying to win. I mean, I know last week Miami won 35-14 over Georgia Tech.
Yeah, it's Georgia Tech.
And Clemson demolished Louisville 31-16.
Destroyed them.
So, I mean, I got Clemson in this one myself, so we're on the same page on that one, my friend.
Okay.
All right, number 11. Penn State Nittany Lion goes into Pascoe, New Jersey to play the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. What do you see in this ball game?
I like them Scarlet Knights. I like Rutgers. But I like what Penn State has been trying to do. You said Penn State, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I like what Penn State is doing, man. I'm liking direction. My man from Keen and Peele.
Franklin. Franklin.
Yeah. I like what he's doing with that program. I like his attention to detail. I like the belief system that he has. I mean, there's been a lot of things that happened in Penn State in the last 5 years, and this man has come in and honed a project and is looking in the right direction. Talking about a football program that wants to get back to the days and the glory of really having a meaningful whiteout party. That's Penn State. I'm taking Penn State in this game.
Yeah. Does Penn State make the next leap up next season? Do you see that? Do you see
That's
that
very
coming?
interesting. I think there is a recruiting situation going on with them where there was an indecisive recruit that had said Penn State earlier, but now is in the air. And I think he's a very high recruit at the linebacker position, which we know that Penn State is very known for linebacker. So I want to see what that falls into place at.
Damien said Clemson on his Clemson pick, and then he also says Rutgers are going to pull the upset of the year today too. So
good call, Damien. Good call.
We'll see how Damien is coming up any quite right here. We'll see. All righty. This is my sister team. The number 24 North Carolina State Wolfpack at Louisville. My wife calls them Louisville. At 3:30 today on ESPN2. How do you see this game coming along?
Well, I like what the program at Louisville has been doing. They have turned it around big time. We're not just a basketball institution anymore. We're getting it done on the gridiron. My man. I'm liking the way this program is closing out the year and the expectations on next year. Give me Louisville.
Yeah, North Carolina State is a surprising team because they have a freshman quarterback that came in after Chambers, did pretty good. I think he has a hamstring problem or could be a torn ACL. I know he was injured. I don't know if he's played last week or not, but if he does play in this ball game here, it could be a competitive game because he's a mobile quarterback and he can run and throw the ball at the same time. But Malik Cunningham is a troublemaker in the backfield for Louisville. He can pass the ball effectively, and he can also run the ball too. So that's going to be a different animal for North Carolina State's defense has got to face today too on that end. If North Carolina State loses today, do they drop out of the top 25? Because right now on that committee is their athletic directors on the committee of the playoffs, and I think that's why they stayed at number 25 after losing to Boston College, who has a losing record. So, does North Carolina State, if they lose this ball game today, are they out of the top 25?
Of course they're up out of there. You can't lose at the 25 level and think you're going to stay there. Has to be very chaotic for that to happen. A whole lot of things got to happen in 15 and 20 for you to stay at 25.
Yeah. I'm going to take Louisville on this one, and Damien's going to take North Carolina State. So, there you go. All right, let's continue right along here. The next game will be Texas Longhorns, who is out of the top 25 at Kansas Jayhawk. And I don't get this. This is what I don't get. Texas lose to TCU at number 18.
Mm-hmm.
They get kicked out of the top 25. NC State loses to Boston College, and they stay in the top 25.
It's because of the matchup, the teams. The expectation of Texas is way higher than expectations of NC State. The expectation of TCU was way higher than Boston College. You see what I'm saying?
I understand, but still, if you lose to a ranked team, you shouldn't. I mean,
I feel what you're saying, but in the eyes of the college football people, Texas has been a letdown, but they're saying there should not have been a letdown.
Now, my question is, Daniels, the quarterback for Kansas, has been injured. They're projecting he might play in this ball game, but they're not giving it up because they don't want Texas to have to prepare for him. If he does play this game, does Kansas upset Texas today?
Yes. Give me some fireworks. Give me a bell ringing. That's the upset I'm picking. Give me some noise. That's the upset special right there. Now, I don't even think it's an upset no more because Kansas is ranked, aren't they?
Nope. They're not ranked no more.
They're not ranked anymore?
Nope.
Kansas is going to beat the hell out of Texas. They're going to beat them.
I think Robinson is going to keep Texas in it. I think Texas' running game is a little bit dominant to keep Kansas' offense off the field. I don't think their defense can stop B.J. Robinson. I think Robinson is going to run over him today. I think Texas is going to win this ball game today. And Damien's going to go with you. He says Kansas is going to win. I say Texas is going to win, so I'll be the only one.
What are the sound effects for that pick? Where's that? Bing, 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 bing. Crickets.
Yes, my friends, I have sound effects. All righty. Let's pick this game here. Utah Tech Trailblazers versus BYU Cougars. Who you got?
Give me them Cougars, man. Give me them Cougars.
I never heard of Utah Tech.
Probably one of the schools that are funded by FTX.
South Alabama, which is located south in Alabama, down south. Just want to let you know. Against Southern Miss, the Golden Eagles. This game is on the NFL Network at 3:30.
Southern Miss.
Yeah, Southern Miss.
Brett Favre?
Yeah, it's Brett Favre school.
We're not picking that school.
No, not me either. So we know we got South Alabama. He's got BYU on the last pick. His pick will be coming here momentarily for the South Alabama and Southern Miss game here, hopefully. All right. University of Louisiana Monroe, the Warhawks are versus Troy, the men of Troy, the Trojans.
Give me the men of Troy and the Trojans.
You gotta wear your protection, you know. All right, let's see what Damien picked for the last two picks. He picked South Alabama, and he's got Troy also. All right, let's go here, my friend. Let's go. What's the next pick here? Yes, Louisiana Tech Bulldogs versus the Charlotte 49ers.
Ooh, man. Ooh. I got to go with my heart on this one, man. I got to go with the 49ers, man. I love me to cackalack. Shout out to the 704. Shout out to the 704.
Yeah, Mecklenburg County. Yeah,
There it is. Mecklenburg County.
Mecklenburg County. I'm picking Charlotte too. So, all righty. Yes, I have all the teams today on my slide. So, yeah. Florida Atlantic Isles versus Middle Tennessee, the Blue Raiders. Not the Red Raiders, not the Oakland Raiders, but the Middle Tennessee Blue Raiders.
Give me Florida Atlantic.
Take the Florida schools, huh? Your future home?
Yeah. Working on it now.
Yeah, I'm going to take
She's
Florida
out there
on that one
somewhere.
here. All righty, my friend. Next one is number 25, Cincinnati Bears at the Temple Owls. Who you got?
Give me Cincinnati. Give me the Natty.
Natty?
Give me the Natty.
Yeah, I think they're gonna win too. So I got the Natty too. Here's your favorite ones. Iowa, the Hawkeyes at Minnesota Golden Gophers.
Even though they're on the road, I'm still waving at the kids in the hospital. Give me Iowa.
You gonna take the Hawkeyes?
Yeah.
The Minnesota coach ain't good enough for you.
No.
I'm gonna take
energy,
Minnesota. I'm gonna take Minnesota on that one.
He's high energy. I like him.
All righty. FIU, Florida International Panthers versus the University of Texas El Paso, the Miners. Who you got?
Give me UTEP in this one.
And Damon Greed in Minnesota on that last one. You going to take what? UTEP.
University of Texas El Paso. Coming in hot.
Yeah, I'm going to take them there at home. All right, the Hilltoppers will go into Auburn, the Auburn Tigers. Who we got in this one, my friend?
Ooh, give me them Auburn Tigers, if you don't mind. Them Auburn Tigers.
Does Cadillac keep his job at Auburn after the season?
Well, considering he almost tore his ACL coaching, this will come down to the judges. But right now, I think the reception for him is going better than good. I'm liking the outlook and the potential for Cadillac if he is able to get this job in the first African-American head coach at Auburn.
Yep. Damien picked UTEP for the last one, and then he picked Auburn for this one. So, my friend.
Damn Auburn Tigers.
The Auburn Tigers, yes. The Auburn Tigers. Tigers on that one. Here, let me put this back up here. All right, my friend. Arkansas State. Arkansas State Red Wolves versus Texas State Bobcats. The Bobcat against the Red Wolves. Who's going to win that fair fight?
Give me Texas State.
Texas State?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with Arkansas on this one. Arkansas
State.
All right, my friend. This is the game that I'm waiting for right here. Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets versus the Denver 13th-ranked North Carolina Tar Heels. In Chapel Hill.
I know you don't think Carolina's going to have an issue or a problem with Georgia Tech, do you?
Yeah, I do.
Let me ask you a question. What scares you about this matchup with Georgia Tech with the expectations of North Carolina going into this game? What scares you?
The quarterback, Sims, who can run the ball.
So you guys have trouble. You have problems with a mobile quarterback.
We have problems with athletic quarterbacks. We've been having problems with athletic quarterbacks since last year.
Now, how do you fix that? Is that a fixable thing in season, or do you need the offseason to work on it?
Well, I think we need to add more players to that. We need more accountable players that understands the gaps. He's got Georgia Tech winning. Of course he does, but it's all right.
I can't remember who it was, but there's a football player last week that said, I thought I knew how to play my position well. Oh, it's on Hard Knocks. He plays for the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
He said, I've been playing football a long time. I thought I knew how to play this game in my position. Boy, was I wrong. You know how important it is to hit your marks and to be where you're supposed to be at in order to play the position. He said a lot of kids don't understand that, how important it is. You can't overrun it. You can't be a little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. You have to be right on the spot and on your mark. So that's a good point that you make right there. You got to have the right players that understand the position and understand what it means to have that position when you see that offensive play set if you're a defensive player.
See, for North Carolina, our defense, I understand Gene Chizik. I know a lot of people don't like Gene Chizik as a defensive coordinator, but he's still playing with Bateman's players. Bateman's players are undersized at the line, at the defensive line. They're undersized players against these teams that are over 300 some odd pounds. Gene Chizik don't have his type players yet because he just came in the beginning of this year. He didn't have a chance to go out and recruit players that he fits his style of scheme. When he was there, the first time he was there, we're under I forgot his name, under Larry Fedora. So for me, the defensive ends on our team, they overrun. When they have a mobile quarterback, they like to go at the mobile quarterback instead of coming up the field and forcing the mobile quarterback down to where they have help. So a lot of times a mobile quarterback can come out the back door easily, and he got about 50 to 60 yards down the field before anybody goes. Right. So for North Carolina to play that effectively, they started playing a little bit better, but you got to jump on. If you want to play North Carolina, you got to jump on them first, because if you look at the defense, and I'll break it to you by quarters, we're the 134 team in defense from the first and second quarter. Go from the third quarter, we go from 134 up to number 25 in the third quarter, because we started to figure out what their teams are doing. By the time the fourth quarter comes to roll around, the defense is like lights out. So if you don't jump on Carolina in the first, second quarter, and possibly the third quarter, comes that fourth quarter, North Carolina defense turns on a light, and it just somehow stops the team.
I'm quite sure that Carolina's defense is being called by the actual defensive coaches. So you mean to tell me the defensive coaches are taking that long to see the adjustment needs to be made?
Well, the problem is they make adjustments. It's just the players don't execute sometimes the adjustments they get out of position.
And the third quarter, that's a hell of a damn differential.
Yeah, it goes from
134 to 25.
Yep. By the time third quarter comes around, they have made adjustments at halftime and figured it out. And then the defense starts playing lights better. As the games go on, the defense gets better.
I would write that down on a board. I would write down 134. I draw a line, then I put 25. I just write that on the board and say, does anybody here know what that is, and why did I write that on the board? And if they don't know, I would want them to explain to me, why is it taking us so long to make the adjustment? That's wild.
Yeah, because if you look at North Carolina, if you look at some of the games they played, I mean, they can't stop nobody passing the ball. They couldn't stop nobody running. They had problems with the mobile quarterback. They had problems with run. Record? They're 9-1.
I thought you was about to say they 2-7 or something. You sounded like the team is playing awful. It's a letdown year for the Tar Heels.
No, the offense. I'm gonna tell you how they win the game. The offense wins them the games because the offense will make what the defense does on the defense. They give up a touchdown. The offense comes right back and scores a touchdown. So the offense is saving the defense, not the defense saving the offense on this side of the way. You know what he said?
Tit for tit. Got you.
So you know what it says? Defense wins you championship. Our offense is gonna win our games.
I feel you.
The only time the defense come up,
want that.
The only time the defense come up big is if it's in a late game situation where they stopped the 2-point conversion against Appalachian State for us to win that game. Win the Miami game, we had to have an interception in the fourth quarter. Van Dyke throws the interception. We get the interception there. To win the Wake Forest game, we had a key turnover because Hartman was moving up and down. Sam Hartman was moving up and down the field against Carolina until we had that interception by Cameron Kelly, the former Auburn safety. So we had key plays in some games that had to stop. And then we had some games that we blew out the other team because they couldn't stop our offense. So that's the thing. Is our defense is our liability. Our offense makes our defense look okay.
You're 9-1, Ray. You're 9-1.
So, but what
this
it gets
should be
me is
easily one game today. Easily one game.
But like I said, the problem that I have is you have Sims, the quarterback at Georgia Tech, who is effectively can run the ball effectively. He's not a very good passer, so I don't worry about his arm, but I worry about his legs more than I do his arms. If he does the same thing what Duke did to us, it took us all the way up to the last second to beat Duke.
Oh, yeah. Well, Duke knows you very well. Duke knows you very, very, very damn well. I think you guys trade secrets in the middle of the night anyway in your chat rooms. But this should be an easy victory for North Carolina and your fan club you watch this game with.
If this game was played in Atlanta, it'd probably be a little bit different story because Carolina always have problems going to Bobby Dodd Stadium and beating them in Atlanta.
Because they go to the strip club the night before. Coaches too.
So I don't know. I don't know what the problem was. I'm hoping they directed here better because they play better at home against Georgia Tech than they do on the road. They got them at home today. I see Carolina. I see Carolina. If Carolina gets off to the start what they do in their offense and Georgia Tech can't handle that, I see Carolina can win big. But if Georgia Tech's defense contains our offense a little bit and it's up to our defense to make some key stops, that's what scares me.
Can I get a weather update for this game time kickoff, please?
You want the weather update?
Yes, please.
All right. Let me find it here.
Weather update. Sometimes that weather is a little key in those little side bets you want to place in a turnover game. Sometimes I like teasing that a little bit. If it's too cold, it's a holiday weekend. I throw all kind of scenarios out there. Who's at the game? Did the girlfriend show up? Where's she at? Is his real daddy going to be there today? He wanted to see him play and all that goes into factor when it goes into these little side bets.
Well, I got to go. I have to go all the way to be a weatherman here for WRL.
62 degrees today at kickoff. What is it? High 52.
It's going to be 48 degrees with a humidity of 43% with the winds at 3 miles per hour.
Okay. All right. That weather report right there by Roy. Ray has given us the weather report.
But
the Georgia Tech Carolina game.
At kickoff, the high is supposed to be 54 degrees today, but that's supposed to be at kickoff. So,
will the weather be higher than the points? Will the weather be higher than the points?
Now, if Carolina's offense go off, the points will be higher than the temperature.
I can see this, man. It sounds like you don't believe Carolina can win this game. I heard a lot of optimism right there, Ray.
My optimism is this is my optimism. Georgia Tech's offense only scores 17.1 a game.
Okay.
Our defense gives up 31.3 a game. Mm-hmm. Our defense makes an offense that looks shaggy, looks better.
Oh.
That's the problem I'm having with this is that defense makes their offense look. That defense will allow. I'm going to tell you, this is what I look at. Virginia is only averaging 16.7 a game. They scored 28 points against Carolina. Now, we're going up against another team who comes in at 4-6, 3-4, who only scores 17.1 a game. I guarantee our defense will give them at least 21 points today.
I think your defense is going to surprise you today. But I like when our teams do that. When we challenge our teams by putting it out there in the atmosphere, because it's already out there. Your team already knows Ray don't believe in us today, guys. They know already. They know.
Yeah.
They know how their defense has been playing. So I'm thinking this could be one of those games where Carolina defense cuffs up at least 4 turnovers. Puts 14 points on the board. Shutout situation, win this game 31-0.
But right now, I think I think the injury update right now is we have one of our wide receiver who was in the concussion protocol last week.
Score update. Navy's on the board 7-0.
Woohoo. Let's see if I can bring it the injury report here.
Go Navy, baby. Go Navy, baby. Go Navy. Go Navy. Go Navy.
Let me see here. It don't say they're listening to him as questionable.
We had to get a little fancy with the college championship.
Yeah, see, that's it again too. This could be a trap game because we got North Carolina State following this game on Friday.
So that's why you're on the edge for this game. See, now it comes out. Now the student becomes a teacher.
So, yeah, trap games, like you said, trap games are trap games, So, but right now the points, Carolina is favored by 21 points, and the over and under is 63.
63?
Yeah.
I like that number, 63. I like that. But I got Carolina winning this game.
He said, damn, North Carolina's defense sound like Chicago Bears this season. Could be.
They haven't been hitting on all cylinders today, man.
All right, so you got North Carolina?
Yeah.
I got North Carolina also. All righty, my friend. We're going to move from the ACC. We're going to go to the Pac-12. And my friend, hold on. Stanford Cardinals at California, the Golden Bears. What do you see in this ball game? Who you got in this ball game, really?
I was reminded of how old I am yesterday, that it was 40 years ago of this matchup when the band came on the field.
Yeah.
That was the game with John Elway. If Stanford would have won the game, John Elway would have played in his only bowl game ever in college football. He never played in a bowl game. So that was it. And that's when I fell in love with John Elway. Right there. Right there. Right there. But Stanford is nowhere near the caliber of football team that they should be. Talking about a coach on a hot seat, how is he still coaching that team?
He might got some dirt on the AD.
That's what I was about to say. He got some dirt on some. He got some photos on his phone on somebody. But I got Cal winning this game.
Yeah, Cal. Yeah, I'm gonna take Cal too on this one. I don't think Stanford has
40 years ago, man. Do you feel that already?
I was 10.
I know how old I was. I was 12. 40 years ago?
I was 10 years old. Yeah. I actually watched that game.
I saw the game on George Michael Sports Machine in a rerun. But 40 years ago, man?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I asked my dad, why? I said, why did the band run on the field? You know what my dad said?
What?
He said the band got tired sitting in the stands.
That put a precedent in college football. That changed what bands are allowed to do. That game right there.
Damon's going to go with Stanford, though, on this one.
What is John Elway going to be at the game?
I don't know. Don't he have more precedent issues with the Broncos?
Hey, easy. Easy. Play nice.
All right, Marshall, the Thunder and Herd will go to Georgia and Southern, the Eagles. Who you got in this ball game?
Bit of Thunder and Herd. We are Marshall. We are Marshall.
Yeah, I'm going to take Marshall, too, on this one. All right, number 5, Tennessee will go into the stadium I do not like at all. They're going into Bryce Williams Stadium in South Carolina.
Williams-Bryce.
I don't care. I call it what I want to call it.
If you don't like a venue or a team, man, you let it show.
Hey, man, you got to do what you got to do sometimes.
Oh, I feel you.
But I'll tell you what, you go park there, you might as well make sure you don't park in no illegal parking. That make sure it is a legit football parking instead of being one of them bogus parking.
Ray, did you get a ticket?
I got plenty of tickets there.
You gotta let it go, man. Just let it go.
I ain't letting it go. That stadium is downtown. That stadium is not even. I don't know what you call. I don't even know if it's in the south. If it's stadium pointing south and north, or northwest, southeast. That's the way the stadium is. It's not straight. It's like diagonally. It's like there.
When
it's
you
just
lived
like.
in North Carolina, did you still feel that way about South Carolina?
Of course. Hey, dude, you got to understand. You get the rivalry is real between North and South Carolina.
Oh, that is a person that used to live down there for 7 years. I saw it all firsthand what it's like down there, and it is truly a true story and a real true hatred for each other. But I'm picking Tennessee to win this game.
I am too.
But the hooker better have a day.
You know, much as I hate hearing Rocky Top, I hope Bryce Williams Stadium hits Rocky Top all game long. That's the way I look at it.
It should be a good turnout, man. Because Tennessee fans travel well. It should be a good turnout.
All right, the Texas Red Raiders. Well, the Texas Raiders against Iowa State Cyclones. Is the Cyclones going to take the Raiders out today?
I'm going with the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
I'm going to go the opposite. I think the Cyclones will. I think it's a tornado is expected in Iowa today.
It's a tornado.
Tornado, the cyclone.
Oh,
yeah. You got to listen what the metaphors are for. You know. I got metaphors today. He says South Carolina's going to upset. Damon says South Carolina's is going to drop a victory over Tennessee today. If South Carolina beats Tennessee today, that will throw a monkey wrench in everybody's college playoffs.
Oh my God, people would lose their mind.
He says Texas Tech is going to win that game there. So
people would lose their freaking mind if that happens.
All righty, Boise State. Boise State Broncos versus the Wyoming Cowboys. Does the Cowboy ride the Broncos today?
Does the Cowboy ride the Bronco today? Give me Boise State.
I'm gonna take the Cowboy. I think the Cowboys is gonna tame that Bronco today. So, you know, the Cowboys are the ones that tame the animals out there. You know. Hey, does Ole Miss, the Mississippi Rebels, get back on the winning track against Arkansas?
Man, give me Arkansas, man. Give me Arkansas all day. Give me Arkansas all day.
I think the Ole Miss is going to win this game.
Yeah, Ole Miss probably going to beat the shit out of them, but I'm going with Arkansas. Got to go.
All righty. What do you got, Boise State? All right, my friend. This is what you see. The number 22 Oklahoma State Cowboys versus at the Oklahoma Sooners today. This is not in Stillwater. This is in Sooner Land. Does Oklahoma State win this ball game today?
Oh, man. I don't know where this thing is going to go, man. Both of these teams have been playing unusual football this year. Unusual football. I don't know if it's in the water, in the air. I'm taking Oklahoma State.
Hold on.
I'm taking Oklahoma State. For my boys in OKC, I'm taking Oklahoma State.
You taking Oklahoma State?
Yeah. To the crew, to the fellas.
All right. You got the Oklahoma State. This right here is going to help recruiting if Oklahoma State keep it over the Sooners. But you know which guy wants to win this game for recruiting rights in the state of Oklahoma. So my friend, I'm going to tell you one thing. I think Wichita will win this game. I think Oklahoma will pull the upset. Yes, I said an upset. Most people don't think it's an upset, but it's going to be an upset.
Give me some sound effects, man. Give me some. If you feeling that, if you feeling all that, give me some sound effects with that.
That's what you want. That's the sound effects you want.
I love it.
That's the sound effects you want. But this is the one I'm going to play for myself.
the upset going right there. I like it. You got Oklahoma beating Oklahoma State.
All right, Damien said, who has Tennessee playing? Say that they are good. Just saying, LOL. He got Arkansas winning. He got Oklahoma State winning this. So he's on par with you. So I'm going to do it. You got an animal started now, man. All right, so you got that, I got that. All right. New Mexico State at Missouri. Your neck of woods. This game here is played at Missouri Tigers today. They're playing the New Mexico State Aggies. How
what
do
time
you
is
see
this game? 6 o'clock?
Nope. Well, 6:30 your time, 7:30 my time.
Well, they got out of the 11 o'clock game, finally. I got Mizzou winning this game if they give the ball to Luther Burden. Give Luther the ball. Luther Burden. Luther Burden. Get him,
Have to give him Luther Burden the ball. He's got Missouri too, so gotta give him the ball.
I heard an unusual stat last week during the Mizzou game. They said there were 5 players drafted from the state of Missouri in the NFL. None of those players went to Mizzou. And the other announcer said, that's why you go out and get players like Luther Burden. And I said, you got to feed Luther the ball. The very next play, Luther Burden scored a touchdown.
And maybe the announcers need to start mentioning his name.
Two shows a night, kids. Next show's at 8 p.m.
All righty, my friend. This is the game that people wanted to see when they were UCLA was ranked in the top 10. USC, the Trojan, will go to play the number 16 UCLA Bruins. You got the number 17 ranked team against the number 16 ranked team. Does UCLA put the shadow the hopes of USC in Lincoln Raleigh?
What time does this game start?
My friend, this game is at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 7 o'clock your time.
So I get to watch this game. So I have to go to a party tonight. So I get to watch this game. Man, I love me some Chip Kelly. Love him. And I like how ballsy homeboy was when he left Texas. That was a ballsy move. And he took the people with him. I'm going USC. Maybe for the fact they got their very first African-American majorette team. That's why I'm going with USC. So I'm pulling for USC.
I'm going with Chip Kelly. I'm going with UCLA.
I mean, I respect that. I can respect that. Real talk. I mean, that's how you feeling.
That's how I feel. I'm rolling with Chip. I'm rolling with Chip today. Damon's got the USC Trojans.
Hey, happy birthday to my boy Jason, by the way, going to his birthday party tonight.
All right. Happy birthday to you. I don't know who you are, but happy birthday to you. A friend of Dre is a friend of mine.
There it is.
All righty. We know Sam Hartman is not coming back after this season. He's already mentioned that. Syracuse Orangemen at Wake Forest, the Demon Deacons. Does the Demon Deacons ride high, or does Syracuse get back on the winning track?
I got the Demon Deacons, man. I like in that football team, man. I really like that squad.
Yeah, I'm taking the Demon Deacons. I don't think Dino Barber is going to get that team back up right. I think once they started losing, that was it. The downplay started. Dominoes effect has come. All righty. UAB Blazers versus the LSU Tigers, the number 6 ranked team.
I saw something in LSU.
Yeah, you think it's got Wake Forest.
That linebacker that's a true freshman.
Talking about Perkins?
True freshman.
The defensive end?
Yes.
Perkins.
Number 40.
Yeah, Perkins.
That kid was all over the damn field last week, all over the place. He changed the outcome of the game. He changed the trajectory of the game. His makeup speed and how quick his hands are, impressive, man. I got LSU winning this game. That young man really got the light shined on him. He's a true freshman, kids. True freshman. That's good at football IQ to go into LSU, a football program like that, and to bring it to the table like that. Man, that young man is impressive.
All right, my friend. I like LSU for a different reason. I think the tight end, Taylor, is going to be a great asset for them in coming near future. He showed what he was against Alabama. I think LSU wins the game, and I think the offense gets a little bit better with Daniels throwing to Taylor because he's going to have a lot of mismatches today. Yeah, we both have LSU winning this game, but Damien said, "Not so fast, my friend."
Uh-oh.
That's what Damon said. Damon said, "Not so fast." He's picking UAB.
Whoa.
Damien said, "Not so fast."
Alabama, Birmingham going to beat LSU? Hello, America.
And Damien want me to play this soundbite for you.
Running on the field.
And then Damien want me to play this.
Oh, goodness.
All righty. Colorado Buffaloes going up into Seattle. The Tacoma, Washington played the number 17, the Washington Huskies. Does the Huskies take over this game and win this game?
Yeah, I got Washington winning this.
I don't see any way Colorado could go up there and win. The way Washington beat Oregon last week, they're running high.
Yeah. That was a beatdown, too.
All righty. The Colorado State Rams versus the Air Force Falcons. Who you got?
Ooh, give me Air Force in this matchup.
You got Air Force?
I will take it. I will take it now. To the love of you, my blue lullaby.
Yeah, I got Air Force aim high. So, yep. I have Air Force. Damien's who does Damien got? He's got Washington, he's got Air Force. So Damien's a little bit on par there with us on that one. All righty.
At some point, you got to come together and face the facts.
San Jose State Spartans versus the Utah State Aggies. Who you got?
Give me them Utah State. Utah State. Utah State.
I'm going to stay with San Diego State in this one myself. All righty. This game would have been interesting if Oregon didn't lose last week.
Assholes.
Number 10, Utah. The Utes against number 12, Oregon's the Ducks. The Ducks are wearing new material uniforms for the first time. Same colors, but different material.
Well, if Mr. Nix would have kept his damn mouth shut, this would be a very, very interesting weekend. And the ramifications for what everybody wants to do with the Pac-12. He just don't know what he messed up. This would have been a true argument to bring to the table for the Pac-12 if they would have won last week. But we can't go back in time. This is not a movie. This is real life. But I think they're finally going to settle down and get back to normal and try for the hopes of a bowl outcome in their favors. But I'm going with Oregon. Oregon, as I call it. Oregon.
Yeah, I think going into Eugene is going to be a hard time. I know Utah beat them twice this past year. Last year is a different season. I think Oregon will be up for this game. They'll probably be mad because they lost against Washington Huskies. So I think they'll be limited. I think they're going to come back and win this ball game here and get back on the winning track. I got that. And then Damien said Jose State, and he's got Oregon also.
Oregon.
Gun. Now, last two games coming up right now here. Fresno State Bulldogs versus Nevada Wolfpack.
Give me Nevada.
You're going to take Nevada? And Nevada. I'm going to take Fresno State. And then our favorite thing is the UNLV Running Rebels versus the Hawaiian Rainbow Warriors.
Shaka, bro. 808 in the building. 808 in the building, baby.
Of course, I'm in the building too. 808. I used to live there myself. He's got Oregon. He's got Fresno State, and then I'm waiting for this Hawaii pick, and then we cut it for the day because we had the 3-hour mark. It's been a fast-paced 3 hours. I hope y'all enjoyed the All Sports All Plays Network and the All Sports All Plays College Breakdown. Once again, my friend Dre, it's been always a good be on the show with you. But also
Turkey Week coming up too, man.
Yeah. But also you can catch Dre on his show there. I'm going to take the banner off.
Who's to blame? The podcast.
Yeah.
Use the QR code right there. Take you right to the website. You can find out all about my podcast as well as my live stream Montez at midday. Get caught up on the moment.
Yeah, I'm Dre. You know, I've been listening to some of your shows, man. You've been doing awesome on them shows.
I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Well. So he picked in this Hawaii contest, Damien. The drum roll, please. Everybody wants to know what Damien picked. He stayed with us and went with Hawaii.
808 in the building.
Yeah.
808 in the building.
So let me get everything set up here so I can get the promo quickly here. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a great honor and privilege to sit beside a legend, the Gator fan himself, Dre Montez. I am Ray Cruz. This is the All Sports All Plays Network.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Until we meet again, it'll be after Thanksgiving. We'll be fat and happy with the Thanksgiving done. We got to run off, you know. But we've been a great. Stay with Rhea Kingdom coming up later on today. Stay with Unscripted later on today on the All Sports All Plays Network. I am Ray. This is Dre. We'll see you back again on the All Sports All Plays Network. See y'all later, alligators.
Bye.
All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. All Sports All Plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All Sports All Plays.